Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about What If Naruto Awakens Devil's Blood Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for Part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. It was a warm summer night in the land of fire's hidden ninja village of Konohagakure or Hidden Leaf Village. Within the village many people were out and about, many civilians either on their way home or headed out for dinner with their families. Masked ninja jumping about the village at high speeds looking for anything out of the ordinary. Other ninja checking in after missions on their way to report their missions to their Hokage, and even a few children on their way back to their homes or one of the many full orphanages. Full since the attack on the village by the mightiest of all Biju, able to conjure tsunamis with the flick of a tail, destroy mountains with a single roar and reshape the very landscape with no effort. The Kyuubi no Kitsune not 9 years ago. The Kyuubi had been sealed into a child after a brief but exceedingly destructive rampage by the one hailed as the greatest Kage of Konoha, Minato Namake's the Yondaime Hokage on that fateful night. And now said child sat alone on a swing in one of Konoha's many parks. He had been alone all day, watching on as all of the other children played with each other, not daring to get close and have the other children call him hurtful things like so many had done before them. While there was a law in place to stop parents telling their children about the beast sealed into the young child, it didn't work as it should have. The laws simply prohibited the people who knew about the beast being sealed into the young child from revealing that to the young children. It didn't stop the older generation slandering the child, calling him a bad influence or troublemaker, which in truth young Naruto Uzumaki was a troublemaker, but solely for the attention it granted him. No one showed him any attention, so he pulled pranks and caused trouble so people would pay attention to him. Naruto sat on the swing lamenting his own loneliness. He was an orphan who had been kicked out of the orphanage in which he had resided when he was 4, and now lived alone in an abandoned apartment complex. Abandoned after he had been given an apartment in the complex, no one wanting to live in the same building as the devil spawn. Naruto was usually a bright and happy boy who managed to bring a smile to his friends' faces when they saw his unique mop of spiky blood red and blonde hair. The brightness of his hair matched only by his endless blue eyes, the right being a pure ocean blue, the left being a green-blue color. "Naruto Uzumaki, you are to come with us," spoke a voice, making Naruto look up to see about 10 people all around him. All of them wore full-body black bodysuits with blank white masks with only the kanji for root on the forehead. All of them had weapons in hands. Several had katana, a couple had tanto, and the rest simply wielded kunai. Naruto, upon seeing so many people similar to those who saved him from attacks by groups of villages, made him freeze. However, the masked people took his lack of movement as non-compliance, and had been ordered in the event of non-compliance to eliminate Naruto, so that's what they planned to do. Several of the masked nin flashed through hand signs. Katan Gokaku no Jutsu, fire-style fireball jutsu, called 4 of the masked ninja, launching 4 medium-sized orange flaming fireballs from 4 different directions at Naruto. "No, please, I don't want to die," screamed Naruto, throwing his hands up and out to the side while closing his eyes in an effort to save himself from the inevitable. However, after a moment of nothing, Naruto looked up and opened his eyes to see a surprising sight. The 4 orange fireballs were now gone, and instead a ring of light blue fire around him, not getting any closer to him. "What did you do?" questioned one of the masked figures harshly, making the young blonde jump in shock. "Nothing, I swear," screamed Naruto, closing his eyes again, pushing his hands out. When Naruto heard several screams, he opened his eyes and looked up, shocked to see several of the masked ninja had burn marks on their chests, and were now laying on the ground not moving. Just as Naruto looked up, a katana blade was descending upon him, once more putting his hands up in an effort to defend himself as he closed his eyes and looked away. However, this time a distinctive sound of metal striking metal was heard, and Naruto looked up to see 2 men in front of him, one blonde, the other a red-haired man. The red-haired held a blade in his right hand in a backhanded grip, blocking the katana from slicing into Naruto. "I would appreciate you not attacking this boy," declared the blonde before he snapped his fingers and 2 balls of fire formed above his hands. "Don't worry, Naruto, we're here to help," said the red-haired man, turning to Naruto with a smile, making Naruto relax. "You might want to close your eyes, Naruto, this is going to get messy," declared the older blonde, looking back at Naruto, who quickly nodded and closed his eyes. Sounds were heard: explosions, screaming, and blades slicing through flesh. Naruto opened his eyes as a hand landed on his shoulder, and he looked up into the smiling faces of both of his saviors. "It's okay now, Naruto, sleep," spoke the red-haired man, and like that Naruto felt sleepy. Letting his eyes drop, Naruto fell asleep. "Lord Gremory," spoke the blonde, looking to the redhead with a nod. "Lord Phoenix," spoke the redhead, nodding to the blonde before Lord Gremory picked up Naruto, and a circle formed beneath each man's feet, and quickly the circles rose from the ground, engulfing both men, who disappeared as the circles fully engulfed them. However, unbeknownst to all involved, a pair of charcoal black eyes were watching the entire event with interest. So that's Minato-sama's kid, interesting," muttered the owner of said eyes before vanished in a swirl of leaves. Unknown location. Naruto groaned as his eyes fluttered open, only to be assaulted with light, making him close them once more almost instantly. Opening his eyes again, slowly letting them adjust to the light, Naruto noticed that he was not in his home nor in the hospital. In fact, he seemed to be in a stone room with a light hanging above him, in a bed from the feel of it, one of the most comfortable beds he'd ever slept in. Naruto sat up in a fright when he noticed he was not alone in the room. Pushing himself back against the wall, Naruto's eyes darted to the 4 girls looking at him in curiosity. One girl had waist-length bright red hair and bright blue eyes. The other 3 girls all had black hair. The first next to the red-haired girl had ankle-length black hair tied up into a long ponytail and violet eyes. The second girl on Naruto's other side had short black hair and violet eyes hidden away behind purple-rimmed glasses. And the final girl next to the short black-haired girl had long black hair and a pair of heterochromic eyes hidden away behind a pair of teal-rimmed glasses. The girl's left eye was violet, and the right was a light brown color. Who are you? Where am I? What do you want with me? Questioned Naruto, looking somewhat fearfully at the 4 girls who looked at him confused. Isn't it polite to introduce yourself before asking for the names of others? Questioned the short-haired bespectacled girl looking at Naruto. Sorry, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, stuttered a nervous Naruto. Hi Naruto, I'm Rias Gremory. This is my queen Akino Himejima. This is my friend Sona Citri and her queen Subaki Shinra, spoke the red-haired girl, first introducing herself, then the long black-haired girl beside her, then the short black-haired girl opposite her, and then the final long black-haired girl beside Sona. Queens? Questioned Naruto, confused, looking at the 4. You know queens, evil pieces? Questioned Sona, as if it were the most obvious thing under the sun. Naruto still looked confused, however he was saved from the girl's questioning when a new presence made itself known. Slow down girls, Naruto-kun most likely won't know anything about evil pieces, spoke an older red-haired man walking into the room. Naruto looked up at the man and realized it was one of the 2 men who had saved him. Thank you for helping me, sir, spoke Naruto, bowing to the man as he walked into the room. No problem, Naruto, said the red-haired man, waving off Naruto's thanks. What do you mean he most likely wouldn't know about evil pieces too, San? You said he's a devil, spoke Rias, looking to the red-haired man. Well, Rias, Naruto here grew up in the elemental nations, not the most popular place for any devils, angels, or fallen angels. That coupled with his devil blood has been suppressed, and his parents were, spoke the red-haired man, interrupted by Naruto. You knew my parents? Screamed Naruto, making everyone look at him shocked. You mean you don't? Questioned the red-haired man, looking at Naruto unbelieving until the blonde violently shook his head. And no, I never met them, spoke Naruto, sadly shaking his head, looking down. Well, unfortunately Naruto-kun, you probably won't meet them, they're both dead, sorry, spoke Naruto's red-haired savior. Well, can you tell me about them? Questioned Naruto in a tone that made the hearts of everyone in the room shatter. Their names were Minato Phoenix and Kushina Gremory, or as the humans of your world knew them, Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, spoke Ria's father. Minato Phoenix, Kushina Gremory, Minato Phoenix, Kushina Gremory, spoke Naruto in his mind, letting the names become parentally implanted in his mind. Wait, what do you mean humans of my world? Questioned Naruto, looking at the red-haired man. Naruto-kun, myself, these 4 girls and even you yourself are not human, we are devils, declared Ria's father. Before Naruto could say anything about how crazy that sounded, Rias's father flared out a pair of bat-like wings, then the 4 girls did the same, and to Naruto's surprise so did he. However, his wings were different from everyone else's. Halfway along the wing his changed to blue flaming wings of a similar shape. How come my wings are different? Asked Naruto, looking at his own wings, all other questions about devils leaving his mind. Well, Naruto-kun, you are a hybrid of the Gremory and Phoenix clans. Phoenix wings are pure fire unlike those of other devils, so the mixture of the blood made your wings the way they are, said Rias's father, making all 4 of the young female devils' eyes go wide. Naruto just nodded. That sounded reasonable. This boy has no idea he is the child of 2 of the most respected and ancient clans in the Underworld, thought Sona, looking over at Naruto, seeing his placid reaction. This is cool and all, but I kind of want to go home, said Naruto, making Ria's father turn serious. Naruto, I have been talking with Lord Phoenix, and we have decided that despite how much you may want to, we can't let you go back, at least until we are satisfied you can defend yourself, said the man. You're going to train me as a ninja? Questioned Naruto excitedly. No, Naruto, we are going to train you to harness your devil blood and train you in devil magic, said the red-haired man. Okay, awesome, when do we start? Questioned Naruto excited. Tomorrow. However, to begin with, Naruto, my wife, Venelana, will be teaching you some history of the devils and the other factions in the worlds, said Lord Gremory. Oh, okay, said Naruto, somewhat deflated but still with a grin. For now, feel free to wander around and get familiar with the castle grounds. I'll have a maid accompany you to help you, said Ria's father before stepping out into the hallway. Once you're settled in, Naruto-kun, come find us, we can play together, spoke Ria, standing up, the other 3 girls following her lead. Okay, muttered Naruto nervously as the 4 girls nodded before leaving the room. Naruto sat alone in the room nervously for a few moments before the red-haired man returned a moment later with a woman with long silver hair, 2 braids at the front which were tipped with blue bows. The majority of what remained flowing down her back, however, once more ended in 2 braids. The woman had a pair of silver eyes and was dressed in a blue and white maid outfit with a white maid headband over her head. Naruto-kun, this is Grafia, she will accompany you for today, said the red-haired man. It's a pleasure to meet you, Naruto-sama, declared the woman, bowing her head to the blonde who looked at her nervously. Alright, let's get moving, Grafia, said Naruto nervously, getting up, climbing out of the bed in which he sat. While you are here, Naruto-kun, this will be your room, said the red-haired man, getting a nod from Naruto as he left the room. Watch him carefully, Grafia, ordered Lord Gremory, getting a nod from the maid as she quickly followed a rather nervous Naruto. Next day, Naruto was quietly walking down the halls of Gremory Castle. He was headed towards the library, one of the many rooms Grafia had made sure to show him to the previous day. Walking a few paces in front of Naruto was Rias' mother Venelana Gremory. As Lord Gremory had said the previous day, Venelana had called on Naruto after he had eaten his breakfast to begin teaching him. Arriving in the library, Naruto followed Venelana towards what appeared to be the middle of the library, where a table and a chalkboard were situated. "Sit, Naruto," said Venelana, pointing to the table. Naruto sat at the table and looked to Venelana nervously. Venelana sat opposite him with a soft smile on her face, setting hhis nerves at ease. "So Naruto-kun, let's begin. Tell me, what do you know about devils?" questioned Venelana. She had been told by her husband that the boy would not likely know anything, but she wished to know for sure she was starting from scratch. "And in nothing, Venelana-sama," said Naruto respectfully but still clearly nervous. Venelana nodded to Naruto, however she was curious why he seemed so scared. The boy looked sad that he knew nothing of his species. "It's okay, Naruto-kun, it's understandable, devils are secret from most people," said Venelana with a soft smile. Naruto let a small smile grace his features as he looked up at the woman. "Alright, Naruto-kun, we'll start with recent history of devils," began Venelana. Several hours later, Naruto walked away from the library with a book under his arm. Venelana had covered the basics of the three great factions, the angels, the fallen angels, and finally the devils, before going over the major battles of the last great war, and then finally the origin and purpose of the evil pieces. "I wonder if I can get a set of evil pieces," muttered Naruto, looking at the book in his hands. He was supposed to read the first chapter of the book. He was scared what Venelana would say to him tomorrow when he told her he didn't do it because he couldn't read, but that was for tomorrow. Until then he had other things to do. He just hoped she didn't get really angry at him. "Hey Naruto-kun," came the voice of Rias from inside a room as Naruto walked past it. Hey Rias, what can I do for you?" asked Naruto from his position frozen in the doorway. "Do you want to watch some anime with me?" asked Rias nervously. She didn't want Naruto to think she was strange for watching anime. "What's anime?" questioned Naruto, making Rias perk up. Of course, he doesn't know what anime is. Maybe I can get him to watch with me, thought Rias. She wanted a friend who watched the same stuff as her. She wanted to have someone to talk to. Akino didn't like many anime, nor did Sona or Subaki, and those were the only devils her own age she liked. "It's really cool, come here, sit, watch with me," said Rias with a smile, patting the seat next to her. Naruto hesitantly nodded and moved over to the seat and sat down very stiffly. He wasn't used to people wanting to do things with him. Hell, he wasn't used to people talking to him, full stop. Rias lay her head on Naruto's shoulder, making him stiffen. "You okay, Naruto-kun?" asked Rias, lifting her head up and looking at him. He just nodded, and she lay her head back down on his shoulder as the two watched. Naruto was for the first little while not paying any attention to the show in favor of making sure Rias didn't turn around and hurt him while his guard was lowered. But after about 20 minutes he had relaxed a bit, enough that he could watch the TV but was still ready to bolt at a moment's notice. Hours later, Naruto and Rias sat in front of the TV having eaten their dinner and returned to watch more anime. The young blonde devil had found himself really liking the show. Naruto looked at Rias to ask her something only to see her asleep on his shoulder. Gently moving her from his shoulder, he stood up, catching head before it hit the couch. Naruto looked at the red-haired girl. Deciding he couldn't leave her there, he picked her up bridal style and headed towards where her room was. He only knew as he was sleeping in the room next to hers. She snuggled closer to him as he walked. He was kind of thankful, and at the same time not thankful, that no maids were in the halls. As he walked he would have been embraced about having Rias asleep in his arms, but the maids could have taken her to bed while he went to his own. Walking into Rias's room, Naruto walked over to her bed and pulled her quilt back before placing her down onto her bed. Going to stand back up, Naruto found Rias to be holding him rather tightly by his shirt. Naruto sighed and tried to pry her hands off him. "No, stay warm," muttered Rias in her sleep. Naruto again tried to pry her hands off him, but with no luck. Naruto looked at the girl, panicked. Nervously he climbed into the bed next to Rias before pulling the quilt over the both of them. Naruto lay there terrified as Rias slept soundly next to him. Rias awoke from her slumber like any other day, naked and in her bed. However, thinking back to the previous evening, she couldn't remember how she got to her bed. The last thing she could remember was watching anime with Naruto. Her mental search was interrupted when she felt the bed move a bit. Looking next to her, she saw Naruto. Screamed Rias, waking up, said boy. Naruto, upon awaking, leaped out of her bed and onto the floor in a panic. Looking around, he saw a naked Rias sitting on her bed looking at him. He then remembered what happened and dropped to his knees. "I'm sorry, Rias. You fell asleep on me and I brought you back here, but you wouldn't let me go. Please don't hurt me," begged Naruto on his knees, bowing to the girl. She looked at him shocked. She was about to tell him it was fine when the door was just short of ripped off its hinges and in ran her brother. "Rias, what's going on? I heard you scream," questioned the red-haired man before he spotted Naruto on the floor. "Is he why you screamed?" questioned the red-haired Satan. "Rias, what's going on?" asked Lord Gremory, running into the room, followed quickly by Venelana, who quickly spotted Naruto on the floor. "Naruto? What's going on here?" questioned Venelana. "He startled me. I fell asleep on him last night, and he brought me back here, but I wouldn't let go, so he slept with me. I woke up and was startled by him being in my bed," said Rias, looking over to the now shaking boy. Venelana walked over to him, making him shake more. "Please don't hurt me," whimpered Naruto, not looking up at the woman whose face was one of shock, as was everyone else, including Grafia, who had just stepped into the room. "Naruto-kun," said Venelana, Naruto didn't move an inch, he just cowered away from the woman. Naruto-kun, look at me, said Venelana in a calm tone. Again Naruto moved not an inch. Naruto, said the woman in a sweet and calm tone, making him just peek up at her only to see her smiling. Naruto-kun, it's okay, it was a misunderstanding, said Venelana, rubbing circles in the boy's back. However, as she did her eyes went wide before narrowing slightly. Why don't you come with me, Naruto-kun, we can get started on today's lesson, said Venelana with a soft smile to the blonde, who looked at her shocked and still a little scared before he nodded ever so slightly and stood up slowly and followed the woman out of the room. Rias watched Naruto leave with a raised eyebrow. He confused her a bit, which she didn't like. You really need to stop stripping and you sleep, Imato. Especially if you're going to start sleeping with Naruto-kun, said Surzex, looking at Rias with a smirk. Enai-sama, screamed Rias, blushing up a storm as her father, brother and sister-in-law chuckled before walking out of the room, leaving Rias, who sighed. Naruto-kun, thought the girl, looking down at the ground where he had been not moments before. With Naruto and Venelana, the two devils soon walked into the library, Venelana having asked a maid to bring Naruto's breakfast to the library while she got him started on the lesson. As the two walked to their table, Venelana put her hand on Naruto's shoulder just before he sat down, making the nervous Naruto turn to her. Why, yes? Questioned Naruto, looking at the woman. Naruto, show me your back, spoke Venelana calmly. Naruto looked terrified as he took a step back from the woman. For Venelana, that was all she needed to know. Her fears were true, but she still wanted to see it with her own eyes. Please, sweetie? Asked Venelana sweetly, looking at Naruto in a caring way. Naruto looked at her, still scared, but nodded a bit before turning around. The red-haired blonde devil reached for his shirt, fearful tears forming in his eyes as he began to pull his shirt up, his hands beginning to tremble as he did. Once his shirt was clear of his back, Venelana was torn between teleporting to Konoha and leveling the place and hugging her trembling godson, well, devil son as the case may be. Almost all of Naruto's skin was stained with a scar, burn or lightning scar, but the one that made her blood absolutely boil was the large devil spawn carved into his lightly tanned skin. And not only was Naruto scarred, but the boy was dangerously underweight even for a devil. You poor child, I'm so sorry, Naruto, spoke Venelana sweetly as she reached forwards and pulled the young devil into an familial embrace. Naruto was shocked by the sudden contact. Like with Rias the night before, froze. However, this time it only lasted a second before he fell apart and started crying. Zeoticus needs to know about this. Ruby and Rilvine too, thought Venelana, as she shed a tear for Naruto, who stood there crying for several minutes, and during that time he relaxed more and more into Venelana's embrace. As Naruto's crying slowed to the occasional choke sob, Venelana gently wiped what remained of the boy's tears from his eyes. Okay, sweetie, you can put your shirt back on, I think your breakfast will be here shortly, said Venelana, sensing the maid coming closer to the library. Naruto put his shirt back on just as a maid stepped into the room carrying a relatively large platter. Thank you, stuttered Naruto as the maid placed the food in front of the hungry child before bowing and leaving the room. You stay here and eat, Naruto, I just remembered there is something I need to do before we get started today. If you finish eating before I get back, just go on with the reading, okay? Questioned Venelana, looking at Naruto, getting a nod from the blonde as he dug into his breakfast. Venelana took that as her cue to leave. Stepping out into the hall, the purple-eyed devil let her rage flood her system, causing a great pressure to form around her, cracking the floor and walls around her as the air began to spark with the red and black aura of her birth clan's power of destruction. Hey, are you alright, milady? Questioned one of the maids nervously, looking at the raging Venelana. No, was Venelana's curt reply before she moved off. Watch over Naruto, ordered the woman. The maid just nodded, moving quickly to make sure the new young master was okay. Venelana tried to suppress some of her rage enough to not crack the floor when she took a step, but was failing miserably, destroying the floor with each and every step. Ka-san? Called the voice of her son Surzex, temporarily snapping the woman from her rage haze. Venelana turned to see Surzex, with Grafia standing beside him, both looking shocked and somewhat scared. Yes, Surzex? Spoke Venelana, taking a deep breath before speaking, to calm down a bit. Why are you so angry, if I may ask, Ka-san? Spoke Grafia, looking at the woman concerned. You two probably should know too. Come with me, spoke the woman before walking away, confusing the red-haired Satan and his wife, who nonetheless followed as Venelana made her way to her husband's office. Zeoticus, spoke Venelana, stepping into her husband's office. Yes, dear? Questioned the red-haired man, looking up from his paperwork to see his lovely wife angrier than he had ever seen her, his son and daughter-in-law behind his raging wife both looking confused. What's the matter, Venelana? Questioned Zeoticus, looking at his wife concerned. It's easier to show you, but Ruby and Rilvine need to see this too, declared the woman, making Zeoticus' eyes to widen. There was only one reason both of them would need to see something that made his wife this pissed. Grafia, would you be so kind as to go and call Lord and Lady Phoenix, tell them it's about Naruto, said Zeoticus, making Surzex and Grafia's eyes go wide in realization before the silver-haired maid quickly walked out of the room. What specifically about Naruto? Questioned Zeoticus, looking at his wife. I can't even bring myself to say it. But you will need to try and keep your anger in check. He's terrified as it is, and trust me, after seeing this you will want to wipe that fucking village from the face of the elemental nations, declared Venelana, making both her husband and her son narrow their eyes. The three devils waited in silence for several minutes, Venelana trying to calm herself but once more failing miserably, Zeoticus mentally preparing himself for whatever it was his wife declared that he needed to see, And Surzex was scared of both what he might see on Naruto, and his mother's rage. He had never seen her this angry. Grafia returned several minutes later and stood beside Surzex, and even she, the strongest queen in the underworld, the silver-haired queen of annihilation, was scared of the rage rolling off Venelana. I'm surprised the Phoenix can't feel the rage from there, thought Grafia to herself, as she tried not to aggravate the woman. Several moments later, a fiery circle formed in the center of the room on the floor before rising up, creating a roaring fire within the room, which when subsided revealed two blondes, one man, the one who along with Zyatticus had saved Naruto, and next to him stood a blonde woman. She had long sunny blonde hair tied into a long ponytail, cerulean blue eyes, and a heart-shaped face. Both newcomers flinched when they felt the rage within the room, the woman turning to Venelana in shock. What's happened? Questioned Lady Phoenix, looking at Venelana. It's easier to show you, but you have to try and stay calm. Naruto is very skittish and 6 raging adults is not likely to help, declared Venelana, looking to the two Phoenix, getting a confused nod from each of them. Alright, come with me, said Venelana, motioning for everyone to follow as she walked out of the room. The 5 other devils looked at each other before Grafia and Lady Phoenix moved to follow Venelana, followed shortly by the males. Quickly moving to the library, Venelana managing to form a facade of calmness. As they walked, the 6 devils walked in to find Naruto sitting at the table within opposite the maid Venelana had asked to watch over him. And with that, Lucifer was cast out of heaven, spoke the maid to Naruto, who had yet to notice the return of Venelana. That's part of the chapter 1 asked you to read last night, Naruto. Why is Hitomi reading it to you now? Questioned Venelana, making Naruto jump as he turned to the woman with a fearful look which turned to a look of pure terror upon noticing she was not alone. I didn't read it last night, muttered Naruto, making Venelana look at him with a quirked brow. And why is that? Questioned Venelana calmly. She would wait for his explanation before getting angry at him, muttered Naruto nervously. I didn't catch that, spoke Venelana. I said, declared Naruto once more, again not at an audible volume. One more time, said Venelana. I said I can't read, whimpered Naruto, looking down, not daring to look into Venelana's certainly disappointed eyes. Oh Naruto, sweetie, why didn't you say? Asked Venelana, stepping forwards, pulling the child gently into a hug. I thought why you'd sniff, be mad at me, spoke Naruto, tears forming in his eyes. The other devils just looked on, angry at Konoha for obviously treating Naruto horribly. However, it was only going to get worse in a moment. It's okay, Naruto, I'll teach you how to read. You should have said, it's okay to talk to me about things like that. I promise I won't get mad at you, spoke Venelana sweetly. Naruto just nodded, tears threatening to fall from his eyes. Alright, now Naruto, I know you don't want to, but I need you to show us your back. Okay, spoke Venelana. Naruto once more looked up at her, frightened. I promise it will be okay, said Venelana in a calming tone, making the young blonde calm down slightly and nod. Venelana let Naruto go, and he turned around and reached for the bottom of his t-shirt. Venelana turned away, not wanting to see his back again. Turning to the other 6 devils, including the maid, she saw them standing there shocked as Naruto lifted his shirt, revealing his malnourished and scared form. Naruto began to tremble as he felt the rage roll off the males of the group. The women were also enraged but managed to hold it back. Venelana, seeing Naruto trembling, glared. Zyatticus, Rilvine, Surzex, stop it, you're scaring him, snapped Venelana, making all 3 men flinch at her tone and her glare. Naruto by this time had removed his shirt and was standing with his back to the other devils, his right hand holding on to his left elbow. Oh Naruto, spoke Lady Phoenix, kneeling down and pulling the boy into a hug. I'm so sorry, sweetie. If I'd known you were alive, I would have taken you out of that Satan-forsaken village years ago, declared the woman. Naruto once again was frozen by the hug the woman had pulled him into, and then again by her words. What do you mean, if you'd known I was alive? Questioned Naruto, looking at the blonde woman who was smiling warmly at him. I would never have left my dear nephew in such a horrible place. We tried to find you after your parents died, but we couldn't find you, spoke the woman, but one word and one word alone caught in Naruto's mind. And nephew? Questioned Naruto, turning and looking at the woman, shocked, not even daring to hope. That's right, Naruchan, I'm your aunt, said the woman with a smile. Oh, Oba-san, whimpered Naruto, hugging his aunt. The 6 adult devils temporarily forgot the boy's form and just smiled happily at the family moment. Naruto just stood there hugging his aunt, tears falling from his eyes. Lady Phoenix just let her nephew hug her and cry on her shoulder. I'm going to burn that fucking village to the ground, snarled Rilvine after a moment. No, don't, spoke Naruto, pulling away from his aunt, looking at Rilvine, who looked back at his nephew shocked. How can you defend them after everything they've done to you? Questioned Rilvine, looking at Naruto unbelieving. I'm not defending the whole village, just some of the people from the village who helped me. I don't want them to die, said Naruto. Alright, tell us and we'll leave them alive, declared Zyatticus, making Naruto look at him before shaking his head. No, like he said, the village did this to me. If anything is going to happen, I want to be the one to do it, declared Naruto, pointing to Rilvine when the blonde said he, not knowing the man's name. It might take years for you to get that strong, Naruto, spoke Surzex. Well, I'd better get started then, said Naruto, narrowing his eyes. The comment got Venelana, Ruby, Rilvine and Zyatticus to smirk. He looks like Minato, and acts like him sometimes, but that was defiantly some Kushina shining through, thought Venelana, smiling at Naruto, her thoughts summing up the thoughts of all 4 of the older devils. Alright, then we best get you up to speed, declared Venelana, making Naruto look to her from within Ruby's arms and nod to her. Ruby let go of her nephew, who quickly put his shirt back on. Come Rovine, I think we have some things to discuss, spoke Zeoticus moving towards the door, the Elder Phoenix nodding before leaving. I think I've kept Rias waiting long enough, spoke Surzex leaving the room, Graphia following as she was training Akino. This left Ruby, Venelana, Naruto and the maid left in the room. You can go now, Hitomi, spoke Venelana getting a nod from the maid as she left the room, leaving Naruto with his aunt and Devil Mother. Okay, to start today, given I now know you can't read, I will use a memory spell that will temporarily give you a photographic memory, said Venelana. Naruto tilted his head to the side. Photographic memory? Questioned Naruto, not knowing what the phrase meant. It means you only need to see things for a few seconds before you remember it, said Ruby, making Naruto look to the woman before nodding. Okay, do it, spoke Naruto getting a nod from Venelana, whose left hand became cloaked in a black and white miasma. Placing her hand against his forehead, his head glowed for a second as he closed his eyes. A moment passed before Naruto opened his eyes, and to either female devil's surprise, Naruto's irises were no longer blue and instead were silver, indicating the spell was in effect. Okay Naruto, are you ready to begin? Because the only breaks you get today are toilet breaks, declared Venelana, getting a determined nod from Naruto. With Rias, the red-haired Gremry heiress, was outside in one of the castle's training grounds. She was with Akino, and the two of them were waiting for Surzex and Graphia respectively. However, Rias was not thinking about what she was going to be learning. No, her mind was currently occupied by Naruto after his rather terrified reaction earlier. Rias had been wondering about him. Every time I see him he ends up scared, thought Rias to herself, thinking over all of her interactions with him. He was scared of all four of us when he woke up. Last night he seemed tense when we were watching anime, and earlier he was so terrified when I woke him up, thought Rias to herself, her thoughts interrupted by Akino snapping her fingers in front of Rias' face. Rias? Questioned Akino, looking at her king. Sorry Akino, what is it? Questioned the red-haired girl. You spaced out on me, what's up? Questioned Akino. It's Naruto, spoke Rias, confused. What about him? Questioned Akino. Just he seems, I don't know. He just does. He seem jumpy to you? Questioned Rias, looking at her queen. What do you mean? Questioned the young queen. Well, he seemed so terrified when he woke up the other day. I mean, did you see what he did when he saw us? Then last night I was watching anime with him, and I leaned against him, and he froze. I asked him what was wrong. He told me it was nothing. Earlier today he startled me when I woke up. I fell asleep on him last night, and he took me back to my room, but I wouldn't let go, so he slept with me, and when I saw him in my bed I screamed, and he leapt out of bed and was apologizing before I even asked what was going on, said Rias, making Akino quirk a brow. The black-haired queen thinking back over the interactions she had had with Naruto. However, before Akino could do any serious thinking, she was interrupted when Surzex and Graphia walked up to the two of them. Sorry we're late, you two, apologized Surzex. Ni-sama, spoke Rias, making the red-haired devil look to his sister. Is something wrong with Naruto-kun? Asked Rias. Surzex and Graphia shared a quick glance. What makes you think that? Questioned Surzex calmly, hiding his surprise. Well, he just seems so jumpy around me. He was terrified when he woke up and saw Akino, Sona, Subaki and me, and last night when I was watching anime with me he froze when I leaned on him, and then there's what happened this morning, said Rias. It's nothing to worry about, Rias. He's just nervous. This is all new to him after all, spoke Surzex. Rias nodded to that. It made sense, but it didn't seem like everything, but she let it go for now. A week later, Naruto once more sat in the library in front of Venelana. In the past week the boy had learned many things, ranging from devil history to basics about all of the heavenly pantheons. Much to Venelana and Ruby's confusion, Naruto had picked up reading much faster than either of them had expected, even with the photographic memory leading them to believe he did know how to read, but the information was locked away behind a mental block. However, neither woman was willing to test whether it was a self-imposed memory block or not. Okay, we're done for now, Naruto. Why don't you run along? I'm sure Zeoticus is waiting for you, spoke Venelana with a smile. Naruto nodded excitedly. Today he would begin learning magic. The blonde redhead jumped out of his seat and rushed out of the room. He is so much like both of them, it's not funny, muttered Venelana with a smile, looking at where Naruto used to be, remembering her two friends. Naruto wandered quickly through the halls. He had a book under his arm that he would drop back in his room before heading off to see Zeoticus. Good morning, Naruto-san, spoke a voice from behind Naruto, making him jump. Turning around, Naruto saw Sona there with Subaki, Rias and Akino. Hey, spoke Naruto nervously. The blonde had become somewhat more comfortable around Rias and Akino because they had been around constantly, but he still wasn't used to Sona and Subaki. How are you today? Questioned Sona with a smile. I'm good, Sona-san. Oh look, I gotta go, spoke Naruto before quickly running off. Rias looked to Akino, who looked at the running form of Naruto and back to Rias, shrugging. What's that about? Questioned Sona, looking at Rias. What? Questioned Rias. You two look like you're confused by something, declared Sona. Well, Naruto has been confusing me. He seems so terrified for no reason. I mean, you saw how he acted when he woke up and saw us, yeah? Spoke Rias, getting a nod from Sona. Well, the other day he and I were watching anime. I leaned on him and he froze. He said it was nothing, but I'm not sure. Even worse than that, later that night I fell asleep and he took me back to my room, but I wouldn't let go, so he stayed with me, and the next morning when I woke up seeing him in my bed startled me, which woke him up. And he was already apologizing desperately before I could even ask for his explanation, and he seemed so terrified of what would happen, spoke Rias, confused. We did ask Surzex-sama about it, And he told us that he was just nervous, but that doesn't seem like the whole story, declared Akino. You said he froze when you leant on him, spoke Sona with a quirked brow, getting a nod from Rias. Have you seen him freeze like that with anyone else? Questioned Sona. Rias thought for a moment before nodding. Yeah, he froze when Nisama put his hand on Naruto's shoulder the other day, spoke Rias, confused. And he's jumpy like that around everyone, not just us, right? Questioned Sona, getting a nod from Rias. Although he has been getting better around Kachan, but that might be because he spends so much time with her, spoke Rias, getting a nod from Sona. Are you thinking he isn't used to physical contact, Sona? Suggested Subaki, looking at her king confused. Well, that's what it sounds like, although, spoke Sona. Although what? Questioned Rias. It could be even worse than that. He is jumpy around everyone. He doesn't know social norms from what he said about not knowing it's polite to introduce himself before asking for someone else's name. And he clearly doesn't know his parents by his reaction when your father mentioned them. Maybe, spoke Sona with a sad and somewhat disturbed look. Maybe what? Questioned Rias, her mind not willing to even entertain the possibility of what Sona was suggesting. You aren't suggesting he's been abused, are you, Sona? Questioned Akino with wide eyes. Well, he is jumpy around everyone, from what I've seen, terrified of people who have only shown him kindness, spoke Sona, not wanting to believe what she was suggesting. No one would do something like that to Naruto, he's too nice, declared Rias. Think about it, Rias, it does make sense, unfortunately, spoke Akino, looking to her king, who looked at the other three, who seemed to accept that as the theory. Rias then turned back to where she saw Naruto running off moments before. Naruto-kun, thought Rias sadly. With Naruto, the blonde red-haired devil himself was walking into Zyataka's office, practically bouncing on the balls of his feet. Excited are we, Naruto-kun? Questioned the red-haired man, looking up from his paperwork at the young blonde redhead, who vigorously nodded. Alright, well, we'll head outside and begin, declared Zyataka, getting a nod from Naruto, who turned around and just short of sprinted out of the door. Zyataka smirked, rolling his eyes and shaking his head. The Gremory clan had stood from his desk before a ring formed under his feet, and rose up, engulfing him as he teleported outside. Naruto, meanwhile, was running through the halls of the castle, ducking, weaving and diving out of the way of maids and anyone else. Luckily, he managed to get to the entrance hall with no difficulties. Walking outside, Naruto found Zyataka waiting for him. You took your sweet time, Naruto-kun, said Lord Gremory, who was leaning on the wall next to the large doors. How did you get out here before me? Asked Naruto, looking around for some explanation. Magic, spoke the red-haired man, mysteriously waving his hands around. Come on, Naruto-kun, we should get started, declared the man, getting a nod from the blonde before the two devils walked along the path leading to the castle gardens. Walking into the gardens, the two devils moved to the rear of the area so any magic to get out of hand wouldn't destroy anything important. Alright, Naruto-kun, to start you need to learn to harness your magic. The best way to begin that process is for you to try and form your wings. So I want you to think of the strongest image you can think of while concentrating here, and here, said Lord Gremory, touching Naruto's back on his shoulder blades one after the other, indicating where Naruto had to be concentrating on. Naruto nodded before closing his eyes while racking his brain for an image to use. There were so many scenes that flashed through his mind, but most of them were less than pleasant. It took a few moments for Naruto to come up with an image. It was from when he was 5. After being attacked by a mob, Naruto had found himself on the verge of unconsciousness, and appearing between him and the mob was a silver-haired ANBU agent, his left hand cloaked in lightning, and the alley was filled with the sounds of thousands of birds chirping, and next to him stood a purple-haired woman with a dozen snakes slithering out of her trench coat sleeves, and like that the image ended. Naruto concentrated on his shoulder blades with the image of the ANBU agent left hand cloaked in lightning and the lady with snakes. However, before he could get started, that image shattered and another appeared in its place, a memory Naruto couldn't place from where or when, but it defiantly was his memory. This second memory was himself at about 7-ish with a young girl, whose name he couldn't place, beside him, and a man, whose name also slipped his mind, standing in front of the two of them. The girl had light blue, neck-length hair. She also had a strand of hair that was slightly raised but went downwards on the top of her head. She had yellow eyes and a white hairband. The man had black hair, with golden bangs and a black goatee. His eyes were violet in color, but they showed nothing but rage, not at Naruto or the girl beside him, no, for a creature standing over the two of them, a bipedal wolf creature which Naruto immediately knew was a werewolf. The man wore a purple trench coat which was stained with blood from the bisected werewolf. Bisected by the weapon in the man's hands, it was a blade of pure golden light which felt dangerous to the young Naruto. You're okay now, Naruto, Yuki, spoke the man, offering Naruto and the girl a hand. Naruto, whose eyes were stained with tears, accepted the man's hand. It took several moments of concentration on the memory, but Naruto felt a pair of wings flare out from his back. Naruto opened his eyes, and to his happiness the wings had formed like the first time he had seen his wings, black and bat-like until halfway along before turning light blue and flaming. Well done, Naruto, very well done, not many devils get it on their first try, said Zyataka, making Naruto blush at the praise and smile, sheepishly breaking his concentration, making his wings vanish. Now I want you to continue to practice that until you can do it without thinking about that image, and takes no time for your wings to appear, said Lord Gremory, getting a nod from Naruto, who then proceeded to try again, his wings appearing marginally faster than before. Good, keep on going, Naruto, spoke the red-haired man with a smile. Alright, Naruto, we're done for the day, spoke Venelana looking at Naruto, who nodded and stood up, grabbing a book as he stood. It had been about a month since Naruto had arrived in the Underworld. He had slowly but surely grown used to most of the devils within Gremory and Phoenix castles, as well as Sona and Subaki. Also during the month, Naruto had managed to get his magical control to a decent level so he could summon his wings on command and had begun to learn basic pyrokinesis. Naruto walked out of the library, quickly moving down the halls. Naruto headed towards his room to drop off the book he had magical training with his uncle to get to. "Hey Naruto," spoke a voice, snapping the blonde from his thoughts. "Oh hey Rias, what's up?" questioned Naruto, turning to face the girl. Beside her stood Akino, Sona and Subaki. "We were just going to the hot springs, wanna come with us?" questioned Rias. "Sorry, I'm training with Uncle Rovine shortly, but thanks anyway," spoke Naruto. In truth, he didn't want to go with them, not because he didn't like them or anything, but because he didn't want them to see his scars. It was bad enough when Venelana had found out about them and made him show Zeoticus, Ruby, Rovine, Surzex and Graphia. "Oh okay, we'll see you later then," spoke Rias somewhat sadly as Naruto nodded before walking away from her. Naruto made it to his room without incident, and after putting his book on his bed he concentrated his magic on the area around his feet, and with a flare of his magic a light blue magical ring formed beneath his feet, which quickly rose up, engulfing the young blonde red-haired devil in flames, and like that he was gone. Phoenix Castle. Naruto appeared outside the stereotypical castle of his father's family. Waiting outside of the large stone building was Naruto's uncle Rilvine. "Ah Naruto, you're on time again, good," spoke Rilvine upon spotting his young nephew. "Well, I'm learning about my magic, I'm still excited about it is all," said Naruto nervously looking at the ground. "If only my youngest son had your enthusiasm," muttered Rilvine looking skywards. "He just needs a good kick in the pants, then he'll want to get stronger," Uncle Rilvine declared Naruto confidently. "I hope you're right Naruto," spoke Rilvine with a smile. "Anyway, let's get started for today," spoke Rilvine, leading Naruto to what they had been using as a training ground since Naruto started his pyrokinesis training. "Alright Naruto, I want to see how far along you've come in the last month," declared Rilvine, getting a nod from Naruto, who flared his wings out in an instant, getting a nod from Rilvine before Naruto put his hands out to the sides far enough that they were under the blue flames of his wings, running his hands through the flames. A ball of flames, roughly twice the size of a tennis ball, formed in each hand. Naruto brought his hands out in front of him where he willed the flames to form a long line of flame connecting the two balls of flames. Naruto then formed the flames into the shape of a sword within his hands before he threw the flame weapon towards Rilvine, who didn't so much as flinch as his nephew guided his light blue flames out and around Rilvine. Naruto drew his flames back to him before gathering all of the flame in one hand above his head. The blonde red-haired devil flared more magic into the ball of fire, making it increase in size until it was the size of a small house. "Okay Naruto, that's good," said Rilvine, getting a nod from the blonde, who let his control slip and the flames vanish into air. "Alright Naruto, now the next portion of your training is learning to make fire from nothing," declared Rilvine. His comment got an interested look from Naruto. "To make fire from nothing you must understand the fundamental principle of fire, and that is what is fire. Fire is energy created when atoms move at a fast pace, which creates heat and then fire," declared Rilvine, holding his hand out, palm facing upwards. Naruto watched closely as the air seemed to blur for a second before bursting into flames and a small ball of fire formed in the palm of Rilvine's hand. Naruto's eyes went wide. "Alright now Naruto, you try. Now this is a high-level skill, so don't be disappointed if it doesn't come to you all that quickly," declared Rilvine, making Naruto nod. "It helps to have a target, so try and light that tree on fire," spoke Rilvine, pointing to a random tree towards the edge of the castle yard. "You're not just using me to get rid of a tree Auntie Ruby won't let you get rid of, are you, Uncle Rilvine?" questioned Naruto, looking at his uncle with a raised eyebrow. "No, what makes you think that?" asked Rilvine. "I heard you complaining about too much bush or something like that the other day," spoke Naruto innocently. Rilvine's face went red. Secretly thanking the Satans Naruto was so young and innocent. "No Naruto, that was something else," muttered Rilvine, not looking the 9-year-old in the eyes. "Okay," said Naruto, turning toward the tree and getting started. Several hours later. "Alright Naruto, that's enough for today," spoke Rilvine, drawing the young red-haired blonde's attention to him, only for Naruto to see not only his uncle but his aunt, Venelana and Zeoticus. Naruto nodded and stopped trying to light the tree on fire and walked over to the older devils with a confused look on his face. "Naruchan," spoke Ruby, making the young Phoenix Gremory look to her. "With the information provided by Rilvine and Zeoticus on your magical training and the speed at which you have been picking up what myself and Venelana have been teaching you, we all believe that you should be given your evil pieces," spoke the blonde woman, making Naruto's eyes go wide. "Ah really? I get my evil pieces?" questioned Naruto. "You are a high-class devil and you have a reasonable understanding of your own magic, and a great theoretical knowledge. However, the decision is at this point entirely up to you. Do you yourself believe you can form a peerage? Be their leader? Help them with their own training? And all other responsibilities that come with owning a peerage," declared Venelana, making Naruto look to her for a moment with a thoughtful look before nodding confidently. "Okay, well in that case Ruby and I will take you to Lilith to have you registered as a king," spoke Venelana, holding her hand out to Naruto, who stepped over to the woman, taking her hand as Ruby grabbed Naruto's other hand, and a magical ring formed beneath the three of them before raising up and engulfing them in a flash. "Do you really think he's ready?" questioned Zyodicus, turning to Rilvine. No, but as your wife said, it is entirely Naruto's decision. There is still much for him to learn, but who knows, with a peerage behind him it may push him even greater than before, declared Rilvine, getting a thoughtful nod from Zyodicus. With Naruto, Venelana and Ruby, the trio of devils appeared from the teleportation circle on the outskirts of the devil's underworld capital of Lilith. Naruto looked down the streets nervously. While he may have become comfortable with the devils of both the Gremory and Phoenix castles, Naruto was still terrified around most people. It's okay, we're both here, we won't let anything happen to you, spoke Ruby, squeezing Naruto's hand reassuringly, Venelana doing the same. This calmed Naruto somewhat, but he was still on guard as the three walked the streets of Lilith, Naruto looking left to right, never looking in the same place for more than 2 seconds. Both Venelana and Ruby cursed Konoha for making such a young child so skittish. They both would have teleported to Konoha and leveled it, but they respected Naruto's wish to be the one to take action himself enough to simply let the matter lay for the time being. The three devils walked into what looked like a large park, Naruto still looking everywhere, making sure nothing could take him by surprise. Moving through the gardens, the three devils soon came upon a large stone pillar within the center of a clearing where 4 pathways converged under the stone pillar. Naruto-chan, sweetie, we're here, declared Ruby, making Naruto look up at her, then over to the stone pillar before looking back at Ruby with a confused look. You touch that pillar which registers you as a king and then your pieces will form, said Venelana, drawing Naruto's attention to her. The young blonde redhead raised an eyebrow but stepped forwards anyway. Stepping up to the pillar, Naruto just sent one last glance back to Venelana and Ruby before putting his right hand, palm flat on the stone pillar. Registration pending. Species: 90% pure blood devil, 10% Yukai Kitsune. Ranking: high class devil. Clan: Phoenix Gremory. Age: 9. Previous registration attempts not applicable. Family: Minato Phoenix. Father: Kushina Gremory. Mother: registration approved. Please hold your left hand out, flat palm upwards. Naruto Gremory Phoenix, spoke a deep voice from within Naruto's mind. Naruto flinched, completely forgetting what it said about species before following instructions, and held his left hand out, palm upwards and flat. To Naruto's great shock, a cloud of red energy formed atop his open palm. The cloud dissipated with leaving 15 blood-red chess pieces in the blonde's hand. Naruto let a grin spread across his face as he looked down at the pieces in his hand, only to raise an eyebrow as he saw 6 pieces glowing. Wow, aren't you lucky, Naruto-kun, not 1 but 6 mutation pieces, said Venelana, looking at the pieces in Naruto's hand. On the outside she was relatively calm, but on the inside she was shocked to her core. It was rare for devils to get 1 mutation piece. It was almost unheard of for a single devil to get more than 2, and was almost inconceivable for a devil to get more than 5 right off the bat. Had Venelana and Ruby not seen it with their own eyes, they would have never believed Naruto had 6 mutation pieces, let alone some the rarest piece to have a mutation piece, the queen, a knight, and a bishop. The other 3 were slightly more believable given they were the same class pawns. You told me that mutation pieces are rare, right? Questioned Naruto, looking up at Venelana, the information he had learned and the facts in front of him contradicting. I did. You are incredibly lucky, Naruto-kun, those pieces are really powerful, said Venelana. Naruto just looked down at the pieces with an intrigued expression before he pocketed the chess pieces. Alright, sweetie, time to go, spoke Venelana, looking at Naruto, who nodded. I'll see you soon, Naruto-chan, declared Ruby, kneeling down to Naruto and hugging him. The young devil hugged his aunt back before she stood back and vanished in a teleportation circle. Naruto, who was waving to his aunt as she left, continued to wave for a moment before he and Venelana were too engulfed by a teleportation circle and they vanished. Gremory Castle. Naruto and Venelana appeared outside the castle doors to see several people there. Standing there was Zyodicus, Surzex, Graphia, and 2 devils Naruto didn't recognize, on who looked to be as old as Venelana and Zyodicus, and the other looked to be about his age. Misla, Serorg? What are you 2 doing here? Questioned Venelana, walking up to her sister-in-law and nephew. Venelana, you said if I needed a place to stay your doors were always open. I'm sorry about showing up unannounced, spoke the older of the 2 unknown devils. No, it's fine, come in, tell me what happened, spoke Venelana, wrapping her arm around the obviously distressed woman as the 2 walked inside. Serorg, this is Naruto. Naruto, this is Serorg, Surzex, and Rias' cousin. Why don't you 2 go and play? I think Rias, Akino, Sona, and Subaki are in the rear gardens if you want to play with them, said Zyodicus, introducing the 2 9-year-olds before he quickly followed his wife and sister-in-law. You 2 play nice, okay, ordered Surzex, making both young devils look at him nervously and nod. Sorry, Graphia, and I have things to do, spoke the red-haired man with an apologetic look as he and his wife walked away, leaving the 2 nervous children alone out the front of the castle. Hi, I'm Naruto, spoke the blonde nervously, holding his hand out to Serorg. And my name is Serorg, declared an equally nervous Serorg, shaking Naruto's hand. Should we go find Rias? Questioned Naruto. He got a nod from Serorg, who seemed to calm down at the mention of his cousin. The 2 young boys quickly walked away from the front of the castle, headed towards the back of the castle. So are you one of Rias' evil pieces, Naruto-san? Questioned Serorg, trying to make conversation. No, why would you think that? Asked Naruto, confused. I haven't seen you here before. And Rias already has her queen. What's not to say she didn't find someone else to make a part of her peerage, spoke Serorg. And no, as of an hour ago I'm actually a K-king. I was born in the elemental nations. I'm a pure-blooded devil. But my parents lived in the elemental nations. But they died. And I was found about a month ago by Zeoticus and Uncle Rilvine, said Naruto, making Sarorg nod before the two fell into a silence as they walked. It was only minutes later that the two young boys made it to the entrance of the rear gardens. Sarorg looked around for Rias but didn't see her and was about to leave when Naruto walked straight past him and in a seemingly random direction. Sarorg, seeing no better option, followed Naruto. As the two moved through the gardens, giggling and talking was heard. Naruto and Sarorg followed the sound of the giggles. "Oh Naruto, hello," said Sona. As Naruto walked into the clearing she, Rias, Akino and Subaki were in. "Sarorg? What are you doing here?" asked Rias, turning to see her cousin beside her friend. "Ka-chan told me we were visiting you for a while," spoke Sarorg with a smile. "Oh okay, do you and Naruto want to join us?" "We're playing Truth or Dare," questioned Rias. "Sure," spoke Sarorg, sitting down between Rias and Subaki. "Naruto-kun?" questioned Rias, looking to the blonde redhead. Okay, but you have to tell me how to play. I haven't played before," declared Naruto. The four female devils narrowed their eyes ever so slightly. "That only adds to Sona's theory," thought Rias sadly. "Okay, well, Truth or Dare is really simple. The bottle in the middle gets spun around and whoever it points to, or the closest one to where it's pointing, gets to pick someone and they have to answer a truth or dare question, but they get to pick whether it's a truth or a dare question," said Sona, making Naruto nod to her as he sat between her and Akino opposite Rias. The bottle within the circle of devils was spun, slowing to a stop, pointing at Sona. 10 minutes later, Rias once more spun the bottle. Having finished her turn, the bottle spun for a moment before slowing down until it finally came to a stop on Naruto, who looked shocked it landed on him but then began scratching his chin before he came up with an idea. "Sona, truth or dare?" questioned Naruto, looking at her with a raised eyebrow. Truth," said Sona, taking a moment to think before answering. "What's your dream for the future?" asked Naruto. He hadn't been playing like everyone else, he was more using this as a chance to learn about them and get closer to them. "And my dream for the future?" questioned Sona, looking at Naruto somewhat nervously. Naruto just nodded to her. "Well, I want to open a raiding games school open to all devils, not just high-class devils," said Sona, anxiously not looking at Naruto while rubbing her arm nervously. "That's a great dream, I'm sure you'll do it," said Naruto, making Sona's head snap towards Naruto with a look of shock on her face. The others in the circle looked towards Naruto with intrigued looks too. "What?" asked Naruto nervously. "You actually believe that I can do it?" questioned Sona. "Well, sure. Why wouldn't you be able to do it?" asked Naruto, confused. "The majority of devils believe that low-class devils should learn about anything to do with devils," said Sona, looking down. "Well then we'll change those views," said Naruto with a smile. "Wait, you're going to help me?" questioned Sona, looking at Naruto surprised. "Yeah, why wouldn't I help my friend? We are friends, aren't we, Sona?" questioned Naruto, sounding unsure of the latter fact. "Of course we are, Naruto-kun," said Sona with a smile to the young blonde, making him smile back at her. "Alright, next spin," declared Naruto, spinning the bottle in the middle of the group. The bottle spun and spun before landing on Sarorg, who rubbed his chin. "Alright, Naruto, truth or dare?" questioned Sarorg. "A truth," declared Naruto, thinking on it for a moment. "Okay. What's it like growing up in the elemental nations?" asked Sarorg, making everyone's eyes go wide. Naruto's eyes went wide before quickly returning to normal. Rias, Sona, Akino and Tsubaki's eyes went wide before glancing at Naruto, concern and intrigue. "Well, it's different from growing up here, but at the same time it's similar. People are taught from a young age to use chakra, which can do really cool things like make fireballs, bolts of lightning, spears of earth, dragons of water and tornadoes. People are also taught to use weapons from about the same age, like swords and kunai and stuff," said Naruto, forcing a smile as he said it, rubbing his back as he talked about weapons, which all four of the girls picked up on. "His back? Why his own? No, they couldn't. Not Naruto-kun," thought Rias to herself, spotting Naruto's gesture. "Why is he rubbing his back like the "Oh Naruto-kun, what have they done to you?" questioned Sona, she too sharing a similar thought to that of Rias. "Why is Naruto-kun rubbing his? No, that can't be why," thought Akino, having a similar thought to Sona and Rias. "No, they wouldn't. Please tell me they wouldn't," thought Subaki to herself, seeing Naruto rubbing his back. "Oh, that sounds pretty cool," said Sarorg somewhat excitedly, before he then leant forwards and spun the bottle. Once the bottle stopped, this time it was pointing to Rias, who looked up in thought for a moment before turning to Sarorg. "Sarorg, truth or dare?" asked Rias, a smile on her face. Let's be different, dare," declared Sarorg with a grin. "Okay, I dare you to go and insult Graphia's cooking," said Rias with a smirk. Sarorg's skin paled as he heard the dare. "No way," declared Sarorg, looking away from the group. "What's the matter, Sarorg, you chicken?" asked Naruto, trying to rile the young devil up. "Yes, actually, have you seen that maid angry? It's not nice. And there is no way to make," began Sarorg, only to be interrupted by Naruto imitating chicken sounds. "Naruto, shut up," ordered Sarorg, trying to shut the blonde up, only for him to keep going. "I said shut up, Naruto," repeated Sarorg, only for Naruto once more ignore him. "Shut up," yelled Sarorg, slamming his fist into Naruto's gut. "Sarorg," yelled Rias, looking at the doubled over Naruto, who was wincing in pain. "It's UGH, fine, I deserve that," groaned Naruto. "Sai, let's do something else now," suggested Rias. "Like what, Rias?" asked Sona, looking to the girl. "Hot springs?" suggested Rias with a shrug of the shoulders. That sounds nice, declared Sona shrugging. Yeah, let's go, stated Akino standing up. I agree, said Subaki pushing herself to her feet. Sounds like an idea, spoke Serorg. You guys go on without me, I have stuff to do, said Naruto nervously with a smile backing up, drawing a raised eyebrow from Serorg and downtrodden looks from the 4 girls. Come on Naruto-kun, it'll be fun, said Rias hugging Naruto's arm. Please Naruto-kun, asked Akino looking at Naruto with a pout. We just want to hang out more, please Naruto-kun, said Sona tilting her head to the side holding her hands together in front of her stomach. Please Naruto-san, spoke Subaki looking at him sadly. Come on buddy, you can't honestly say no to these faces, can ya? Asked Serorg throwing an arm over Naruto's shoulder. Naruto sighed and nodded. Alright, let's go, said Naruto defeated by his friends, following their lead as they walked towards the hot springs. Hot springs. Several minutes later, Naruto walked with Serorg into the male change rooms. He had several options. He could wait until Serorg had gone before and then leave, but he would get an even bigger guilt trip from Rias, Sona, Akino and Subaki if he did so. That option was out. He could change as quickly as possible and be the first in and last out of the water, or he could wait until everyone else had got into the water and hope the steam would cover his scars. The second option is the thought Naruto to himself only to be interrupted. You coming Naruto? Asked Serorg, who had already apparently changed and was headed in. Yeah, I'll be in a moment, declared Naruto inwardly cursing at his slow speed. Naruto quickly stripped down and changed, wrapping a towel around his waist before walking out into the actual hot springs only to see all 5 of the other devils already there, and minimal steam. Once more Naruto inwardly cursed his luck. Walking along the side of the hot springs, Naruto heard several sharp intakes of breath behind him. Naruto-kun, why you're back, stuttered Sona, seeing the blonde's scared back. Now do you guys see why I didn't want to do this? Questioned Naruto, looking away from the 5 devils holding his left upper arm with his right hand. I'm sorry, I can't do this, said Naruto, turning back around and briskly walking back to the change rooms. The 5 young devils were too shocked to follow after Naruto as he left. Several hours later, Naruto, sitting at the table eating his dinner, could feel 5 sets of eyes upon him. He didn't need to look up to tell Rias, Sona, Akino, Subaki and Serorg were all looking at him. He had been avoiding them all afternoon since they had left the hot springs. Naruto stood up, having finished his food, and left the room. The 5 young devils watched him leave with varying degrees of concern. What's the matter, you 5? Questioned Venelana, looking at the young devils confused. Ka-san, have you seen Naruto-kun's back? Questioned Rias, distraught. Oh, you've seen it then, said Venelana flatly, wincing as her hand covered her face. What? What's wrong with his back? Questioned Misla, looking to Venelana, concerned for her friend's son. She, like Venelana and Ruby, had been Kushina's friend when she was alive, so much so that Kushina had considered naming Misla Naruto's devil mother, but after seeing her family's situation, Kushina had decided on Venelana. Not that Misla held it against Kushina. Had their positions been reversed, she would have done the same. Almost every inch of his skin is scared, or burnt, and someone carved the words devil spawn into his back, declared Zeoticus, making Misla look to him. And no, please tell me you're joking? Spoke Misla, dreading the answer. Do you think I would joke about that kind of thing? Snarled Zeoticus, shocking everyone in the room, none of them excluding Venelana having seen the red-haired Gremory clan head so mad. Sorry, I shouldn't have snapped, muttered Zeoticus, looking away from everyone. Rias quickly finished her food before leaving the room, looking for Naruto. Sona followed Rias' lead after finishing her own dinner. The black-haired king, after leaving the dining room, ran to catch up to her friend. Any ideas where he could be? Questioned Sona as she fell into step beside Rias. I'm not sure, the lounge room maybe, muttered Rias, trying to think of the places she had seen Naruto. The only places she could think of were the lounge room, the library, his bedroom, and outside the castle. The 2 young devils walked through the halls of the castle towards the lounge room. Sona, Rias, wait up, came the voice of Akino from behind them. The 2 kings stopped and turned to see both of their queens quickly jogging up to them. Once the 2 queens caught up, the 4 girls continued on their path, and true to Rias' guess, they found Naruto in the lounge watching anime. Naruto-kun, spoke Rias softly, making the blonde turn to her before looking down. Why, yeah, Rias, what's up? Asked Naruto, not meeting the redhead's gaze. How did you get those scars on your back? Questioned Rias. I don't want to talk about it, Rias, spoke Naruto nervously. Please, Naruto-kun. Did it happen in your village? Did they hurt you? Questioned Sona desperately. I really don't want to talk about it, please, begged Naruto. But Naruto, began Rias. No, please drop it, spoke Naruto, interrupting Rias. Sorry, I just remembered I have reading to do, see you later, spoke Naruto, getting up and walking away. Before any of the girls could say anything, Naruto had left the room. All 4 girls looked towards where Naruto had been sadly. Naruto-kun, muttered Rias, looking down. Several days later, Venelana sighed as she looked at Naruto as he diligently read the material she had asked of him. I wish you would stop avoiding Rias and her friends, Naruchan, muttered Venelana, not really intending for him to hear. I would, Venelana-oba. But they won't stop asking about my scars, and I don't want to talk about them, I just want to forget them, spoke Naruto, sadly, looking up from his book, getting another sigh as well as a sad nod from Venelana. Okay, Naruchan, you can pack up for now, we are finished for the day. But once you're finished, Zeoticus asked to see you in his office once you were done, spoke Venelana. Naruto nodded as he began packing away the books he had open in front of him. Leaving 3 on the table, he put the rest back on the shelves. Walking back to the table, Naruto took the 3 books and left the library. Walking down the hall, Naruto was thankful that Rias and Akino were spending the day with Sona and Subaki, so he didn't need to be on the lookout for them, and Sarorg and his mother were out as well, so Naruto could freely walk about the castle without being pestered about his scars. Naruto, deciding to see what Xiaticus wanted, headed to the red-haired man's office first. Naruto made it to the man's office in about 5 minutes. However, walking into the office, Naruto found that Xiaticus was not alone. Rubio Basin, Rilvainajazen? Questioned Naruto, stepping into the office to see his uncle and aunt as well as both Venelana and Xiaticus. Good afternoon, Naruto, spoke Xiaticus, drawing the young blonde's attention to him. We called you here because we have a way to remove your scars, spoke Xiaticus, making Naruto go wide-eyed. What? Questioned Naruto, not believing what he had heard. We can heal your scars, Naruto-chan, spoke Ruby, happily looking to Naruto, who looked to his aunt shocked. How? Questioned Naruto, not even daring to hope that they could. With this, declared Rilvine, pulling a vial out of his pocket before presenting it to Naruto, who looked at the object with a raised eyebrow before taking it from Rilvine. Magical, clear liquid, Phoenix Tears? Questioned Naruto, swirling the bottle to see the liquid, trying to guess what it was. Well done, Naruto. Yes, they're Phoenix Tears and they should heal your back, said Ruby. Naruto nodded, looking down at the vial. It's up to you if you want to use them, Naruto, spoke Xiaticus, getting a nod from Naruto before he quickly uncorked the fancy vial. Tipping his head back, Naruto downed the liquid in one gulp, and he felt a surge of magical power flow from the liquid towards his back, where he felt the skin of his back torn apart before being stitching itself back together like it was nothing. The sensations of his skin breaking down and reconstructing made Naruto wince despite his high pain tolerance built up from when those scars were inflicted upon him. After several minutes the feeling went away and Naruto's face loosened back into a smile as he quickly pulled his shirt off. However, with his back to the 4 adults, they looked at him confused. Upon seeing their looks, the Gremory Phoenix hybrid looked around for something reflective to see his back. Why didn't it heal them all? Questioned Xiaticus, looking to Rilvine. I have no idea, they have to be perfect tears, otherwise it wouldn't have worked, full stop, muttered Rilvine, looking at his nephew's back in anger. By this time Naruto had found a mirror to look at his back and tears began to form in his eyes. Naruto-chan, it's okay, will, began Venelana, looking at Naruto sadly. Thank you, spoke Naruto, interrupting Venelana and making all 4 devils look to him. This is more than I could have ever hoped could have been healed, and you 4 went so far for me, thank you, spoke Naruto, looking at his still somewhat scared back. The devil spawned scar was still present, along with maybe half a dozen lightning scars and then another half a dozen regular scars, and even those scars appeared shallower. That's alright, Naruto-chan, going so far for someone is what family does, spoke Ruby with a smile. Naruto looked at her slightly shocked before smiling and nodding. Rubio Basin, Rilvainajas, and see, could I stay with you for a while? Asked Naruto. Naruto-sama, your breakfast, called a voice. Naruto shot upright in shock, only to be met with the sight of his large bed and a nervous maid in the doorway who looked shocked and scared at his sudden movement. Right, thanks, muttered Naruto as the maid quickly walked into his room, placing a tray next to him before moving back to the door. Will that be all? Asked the maid gingerly. Naruto nodded as he began to eat his breakfast. This was his first morning in Phoenix Castle, Rilvine and Ruby having agreed to have him stay with them. Naruto ate in silence, hoping he wouldn't have to deal with his cousins. Or at least Razor. He had inherited the arrogance of the Phoenix to the fullest. Rivel, Rasnus were okay, but that was because they had outgrown the classic arrogance of the Phoenix, and Revel so far hadn't inherited it. The Phoenix arrogance being the reason Naruto had been staying with the Gremory so as not to develop it. Naruto-chan, sweetie, are you decent? Questioned Ruby from the other side of the door. Yeah, Rubioba, called Naruto before the door was opened and the woman herself walked in with several maids behind her. I know you like the outfit you have from Konoha so much so that you asked someone to go and get the identical sets for you, but I thought it might be nice for you to have some variety in outfit choice, spoke Ruby with a smile. Rubioba, I don't like the stuff I have from Konoha. I was just scared of asking for clothes when I was brought here, and it's just not really been a priority while I've been learning what I need to, muttered Naruto, not looking at his aunt. Ruby moved over to Naruto, sitting on the side of his bed before putting her arm around him. That's okay, honey. Everyone forgets things when they're interested in something else. These maids are here to measure you up for whatever clothes you would like for everyday use. Some fine clothes for meetings with other nobility, and possibly some training gear unless you want to use your everyday stuff for training, in which case it will be made of stronger materials, spoke Ruby. That sound okay, and I'd rather not have a set of clothes dedicated to training, so everyday stuff for that, declared Naruto, getting a nod from Ruby and the maids before Ruby stood up, letting Naruto do the same as the maids began to measure him. Any ideas on what type of outfit you'd like, Naruto? We did bring sample styles if you don't, but said Ruby, trailing off as her point was made. I would like camouflage pattern and somewhat baggy pants, I know that, spoke Naruto. Ruby adopted a thoughtful look before nodding. Okay, I can see that, I won't say no. Anything else? Asked Ruby. A zip-up hottie I think would be cool, said Naruto, once more getting a thoughtful look from Ruby, who shrugged and nodded. Do you have a color or colors in mind, Naruto-sama? Questioned none of the maids, measuring Naruto's chest. Black and silver, declared Naruto with no hesitation, getting a nod from the maids. And for a shirt? Questioned Ruby. A black t-shirt maybe, muttered Naruto. getting a nod from Ruby, who was about to speak when Naruto spoke again. Wait, a black sleeveless shirt with silver and black striped arm-length fingerless gloves, declared Naruto, making Ruby tilt her head, trying to picture her nephew in the outfit he described. Before shrugging, it seemed reasonable, so she nodded to the maids, who noted down what he wanted. And make everything fireproof, ordered Ruby, getting a nod from the maids as they made their final notes, before leaving the room as Naruto sat back down on his bed. Okay sweetie, Venelana gave me an overview of what she had been teaching you, but I'd like to know from you, so I'm going to ask you some questions and you answer as best you can, okay? Questioned Ruby, getting a nod from Naruto. So let's start with the dimensional makeup of our world. What do you know? Asked Ruby. Well, there's 3 or 4 dimensional levels depending on how technical you want to get, spoke Naruto. As technical as you can, declared Ruby, making Naruto once more nod. Alright, well, first there is what is considered the overworld, with 2 dimensional planes simultaneously. One is the elemental nations, and the other is the human world. These 2 are considered the overworlds. However, there is a 3rd dimensional plane on the overworld's level. However, it is notoriously difficult to get to and is known to the shinobi of the elemental nations as the summoning realm. Then there's the underworlds, which consist of this dimensional plane just called the underworld, or by Christians, hell, and then the other dimensional plane on this level is the demon realm. Above the overworlds, another dimensional level which houses the many heavenly pantheons like those of the biblical gods, the Shinto gods, the Nordic gods, the Hindu gods, and many more. This dimensional level is simply called heaven. Finally, between the overworlds and the underworlds there is what many consider a 4th dimensional level, but some don't consider it a separate thing as it is linked to one of the heavenly pantheon, and this is known by many names: purgatory, limbo, the crossroads of death, and many more, declared Naruto. Alright, that's a reasonable knowledge. What about the creatures of those dimensional planes? This one you can be less specific. I don't want to be here a week, declared Ruby. Well, there's the angels, Valkyries, they're holy beings of 2 heavenly pantheons. Then there's the humans, which usually fall into 6 categories, first being oblivious, the humans of the human world who know nothing of the mystical world. The other side to that are humans who know about the mystical world and may even interact with various beings of the mystical world but are not part of the mystical. Then there's the exorcists, pseudo-holy beings wielding holy weapons to kill any devils or demons. There's also the heroes, they follow the fallen angels, however they generally only fight demons, not devils. Along with them there are magicians who can use magic, learning from many different sources. They hold no loyalty to any other beings unless they make a contract. Last of the humans are the shinobi and kunoichi. They are like the normal humans, just with access to chakra, making them more dangerous. The beings of limbo or purgatory are grim reapers, technically holy beings as they are born from Hades, the god of the dead. Last of all there's the devils and the demons, the unholy beings, but that doesn't make us naturally evil, just amoral, spoke Naruto. Is that all? Questioned Ruby, looking at Naruto curiously. Well, that's all I know, muttered Naruto, looking down. It's okay Naruto-chan, like I said, I'm just trying to get a grasp of what you know, said Ruby with a smile, pulling Naruto into a hug. Naruto just nodded. So I think we'll start with some more of the creatures, spoke Ruby, getting a nod from Naruto. Why don't you change and meet me in the library, suggested Ruby. Naruto nodded once more before Ruby stood and left the young blonde redhead. Several hours later, Naruto sat in the library. In front of him was a pile of books with one open before him on a page about vampires. Alright Naruto-chan, we're done for now, declared Ruby. Already? Questioned Naruto, looking up from the book he was reading. What's the matter? Asked Ruby. I was getting really interested in this, said Naruto, motioning to the book. Well, you can keep reading, nothing's stopping you, spoke Ruby with a smile. But I'm supposed to have magical training with Uncle Rilvine after this, whined Naruto. And you'd rather read than train? I thought you loved training. That's what Rilvine told me, said a confused Ruby. Well, no, I do love training, but I'm really interested in this and don't want to stop just yet, declared Naruto. Lucky for you, Rilvine has some other things to take care of today anyway, so he asked me to teach you today, but if you want to keep reading, I'm happy to let you do that, spoke Ruby with a smile. Just a bit longer, declared Naruto as he turned back to his book and resumed reading without a care in the world. The hours flew by as Naruto continued to read about the mystical creatures of the world, the succubi, incubi, yukai, dragons, wyverns, chimera, sirens, werewolves, nymphs, fairies, and so many more, and without the young devil even noticing, the whole day had passed in the blink of an eye. Naruto-chan, called Ruby's voice from the doorway. Yelba-chan? Questioned Naruto, turning to her. Dinner's ready, declared Ruby. Dinner? What time is it? Asked Naruto, looking around for a clock. It's 7:30 Naruto, you've been reading all day, spoke Ruby. Naruto blinked in surprise before his stomach grumbled, and Naruto blushed in embarrassment before putting a bookmark in his book and closing it. The maids can put the books away, come and eat, ordered Ruby, getting a nod from the young red-haired blonde who picked up his book and quickly walked out of the room. It didn't take long for Naruto and Ruby to arrive at the dining room, where they found Rilvine sitting at the head of a large table. Next to him on one side was a youngish-looking spiky-haired blonde-haired blue-eyed man. He wore a white suit with golden detailing and an extravagant gold and red cloak over the top. This was Rilvine and Ruby's oldest son. Next to Ruvel sat another blonde-haired blue-eyed man, his medium-length blonde hair pulled back into a spiky ponytail. He wore a simple black suit with purple detailing. This was Rasnus, Ruby and Rilvine's second son. Opposite Rasnus was yet another blonde-haired blue-eyed young man. He wore a deep red suit and an arrogant smirk. This was Razor, Rilvine and Ruby's youngest son. Next to Razor sat the only female already at the table. She had long blonde hair tied into twin tails with large, almost drill-like curls with red ribbons keeping them in place. She had dark blue eyes and wore an extravagant pink dress. She was Ravel, Ruby and Rilvine's only daughter. "Why is he here?" questioned Razor snidely upon spotting Naruto following Ruby. "Razor, don't be rude. Naruto is your cousin and he is staying with us for a while," declared Ruby. Razor just scoffed and turned back to his food. Ruby walked to her seat next to her husband opposite her oldest son and next to her youngest. Naruto moved nervously to his seat next to Resness and opposite Ravel. The older blonde ruffled Naruto's hair as he sat down with a smile, making Naruto smile back at his cousin. "So you do anything interesting today, Naruto?" asked Resness as he began eating. "Not really, I just read," declared Naruto. "All day?" asked Rilvine with a raised eyebrow looking to Naruto. "Yeah, I was reading and lost track of time," said Naruto. "What were you reading about?" questioned Rivel. "Some of the different creatures of the mystical world," spoke Naruto. "Ah yes, I can see how one could lose days reading about the different beings," declared Rivel. "What's your favorite that you read about?" "Mine's fairies," declared Ravel excitedly looking at her cousin. "There were so many I read about. My favorite aside from devils, shinobi and kunoichi, I think it would probably have to be vampires maybe," said Naruto, not really sure. "Vampire? Interesting, what makes you say that, Naruto?" asked Rilvine looking at his nephew curious. "Well, the blood magic seems cool to me, being able to use their own blood to attack, it just seems cool," spoke Naruto. Razor, unknown to Naruto, rolled his eyes at the young devil's comment. Rilvine, who saw his youngest son's action, just sighed disappointedly at his behavior. Several days later, Naruto, clad in his new outfit, once more sat in the library within Phoenix Castle. It was currently mid-afternoon, and Naruto had finished his magical training with Rilvine and thus had chosen to return to the library and read more on the various creatures of the mystical world. "You're reading again, geez, you're such a nerd," came the snide voice of Razor from behind Naruto, who turned to see him before nervously the young hybrid devil turned back to his book. "Hey, look at me when I'm talking to you," growled Razor. Naruto once more continued to read, hoping the man would simply leave him alone. "A punk," snarled Razor, grabbing Naruto by the back of the collar and pulling him out of his seat. "When I'm talking to you, you better answer," growled Razor, glaring at Naruto. "Razor," yelled a voice from behind him. The older blonde turned to see Rivel standing in the doorway. "Act your age, not your shoe size," declared the older of the two brothers. Razor narrowed his eyes before letting go of Naruto, who fell on his ass looking up at the two brothers fearfully. "I was just trying to teach the punk his place, bro," spoke Razor, walking up to his older brother. "If you're going to treat your own flesh and blood like that, then you're no brother of mine," declared Rivel. "He ain't my flesh and blood, he's just the kid of some Gremry whore and a random member of our clan," declared Razor. Rivel glared at his brother and was about to punch him in the gut, only to be beaten to the punch by Naruto, who came flying from behind Razor in a spin and slammed his foot into the side of Razor's head, slamming him into the door. "You can talk shit about me all you want, but never talk shit about my parents," yelled Naruto, glaring at the downed Phoenix. "You little punk," growled Razor, pushing himself to his feet. "Razor, leave," ordered Rivel. "What?" screamed Razor, looking at his older brother. "You deserve that, leave," said Rivel in an eerily calm tone. Razor rolled his eyes before walking out of the room and down the hall. "As much as I shouldn't be saying anything because I was going to slug him too, but try not to let Razor wind you up," said Rivel, turning to Naruto, who tilted his head confused. "Why were you going to slug him?" questioned Naruto. "He may not remember them, but I remember your parents. Kushino Basin and Minato Ajisen were two of the nicest people I've ever met. It's unfair that I got to spend so much time with them yet you had so little," spoke Rivel, looking away from his cousin with a faraway look in his eye. "Come on, I'm sure you could use some time to blow off a little steam from Razor's taunts, and I could too," declared Rivel, holding his hand out to Naruto. "Could you tell me about them, my parents I mean?" asked Naruto as he took Rivel's hand and the two headed outside. "Sure, what would you like to know?" questioned Rivel with a smile. "Anything, I don't really know much about them," replied Naruto. "Well, they both grew up here until after the Great War, when a lot of devils lost their lives, and both of them, not being in relationships at the time, were engaged to be married by their clan heads as a way to keep the pure-blooded devils alive, as this was after the evil pieces system had been implemented, and to bring the Gremry and the Phoenix clans closer. But from what I was told, neither of them wanted to be engaged to someone they had never met before, and both fled the Underworld for the elemental nations, as most devils tried to stay clear of them, and from what I was told, they both took the form of young children to blend in and better hide from the devils that may be looking for them," spoke Rivel. "If that's the case, how come they ended up together?" asked Naruto, confused. "Well, that's where things get a little tricker. The story I was told was that while in the elemental nations they actually ended up in the same village, Kushino Basin having been in an allied village but was given to Konoha for some reason, and Minato Ajisen having gone straight to Konoha, and as they grew up together the two of them actually fell in love, not once realizing the other was a devil. Until the night Minato Ajisen asked Kushino Basin to marry him, that is, because after she said yes they both revealed to each other that they were devils, to each other's shock I'm sure, said Ruvel with a laugh, Naruto laughing too as the two devils walked outside. They came back to the underworld for their wedding as Minato Ajisen was a wanted man and any family he had would be in danger, so it wasn't public in the elemental nations. It was here though, but both of them had made so many friends in the elemental nations and didn't want to just disappear on them, so they went back. They did however plan to move back here when you were born. I did ask them about that, and they said that they didn't want you growing up in such a violent environment, spoke Ruvel with a smile to Naruto, who wore his own smile, a sad smile, but a smile nonetheless. Come on Naruto, catch me if you can, spoke Ruvel with a smile as his red flaming bird-like wings flared out from his back and he took to the air. Naruto blinking before what Ruvel said clicked in his mind. Hey, wait up, called Naruto, running after Ruvel before his own half-solid half-flaming light blue wings flared out, and he took to the air flying after his cousin. Come and get me, said Ruvel, poking his tongue out as Naruto flew at him. Naruto formed a ball of fire from his wing and threw it at Ruvel. The older blonde tried to take control of Naruto's blue fire, only to his shock not to be able to. What the? I can't control his fire, thought Ruvel to himself, as he quickly hid his shock and spun around the fireball and turned back to face Naruto. You missed, called Ruvel in a teasing manner. Naruto narrowed his eyes and formed two fireballs from the fires of his wings, which he threw at Ruvel, who simply moved around them. Can I have a go? Asked Ruvel, his own fireball forming in his hand. The second Naruto saw Ruvel's fireball formed, he flew up as fast as he could, just in time for Ruvel to throw his fireball at the young hybrid devil. Naruto, who had his back to his cousin, spun as the fireball drew closer and closer, spun around at the last minute and stopped the fireball. Ruvel raised an eyebrow as the red fireball hung in the air just in front of Naruto for a moment before, at the very center of the fireball, a pinprick of Naruto's light blue flames formed. With a look of extreme concentration on his face, Naruto pushed the fireball with his pyrokinesis. The fire moved back about an inch, and the blue in it turned from a pinprick to a dot of light blue, and then like a barrier broke. The fireball rocketed back at Ruvel, roaring Naruto's light blue. Ruvel once more had to move out of the way as his own fireball came flying back at him at twice the speed of any of the fireballs before. Not wanting to tempt fate, the man flew around the fireball before flying off in a random direction. Come and get me, Naruto, called the elder phoenix as he flew away from his cousin. You asked for it, yelled Naruto as he gave chase. About an hour later, Naruto and Ruvel were both still flying around the grounds of the Phoenix Castle. However, Ruvel stopped and simply hung in the air in front of Naruto. I believe you have guests, Naruto, said Ruvel, looking at the blonde, who sighed. Yeah, I know, muttered the red-haired blonde, looking away from Ruvel. You seem perturbed by them being here, spoke Ruvel. Per what? Questioned Naruto. Nervous, annoyed, declared Ruvel with a shrug. Well, they were constantly asking me about something I don't really want to talk about before I came to stay here, and I know they're going to ask about it again, said Naruto. You never know, they might just want to talk to you. You haven't contacted any of your friends for over a week, declared Ruvel with a shrug. Naruto sighed. Maybe, but I doubt it, but I'll go see them. See you later, Ruvel, spoke Naruto with a wave. Yes, see you later, Naruto, spoke Ruvel, returning the wave. I should talk to Kasan about his fire, muttered Ruvel as he flew back towards the castle to find his mother. Landing just outside the door, Ruvel pushed the doors open and walked through the halls looking for his mother. The oldest son of the Phoenix clan head didn't bother to ask the maids, instead opting to stretch out his senses and search for her energy signature. It took about 5 minutes before he found her energy signature, and after finding Ruby's energy he made a beeline for her, walking to the back of the castle and outside to a patio where he found his mother with 3 other women, all 4 of them laughing and smiling, each with a glass of wine in their hands. Kao-chan, spoke Ruvel, drawing all 4 women's attention to him. Ruvel, what is it? Asked Ruby, looking to the blonde. It's about Naruto, said Ruvel, drawing the attention of Venelana, Misla, Ruby, and to a lesser extent the 4th woman, who had long black hair left hanging loose to flow down her back and violet eyes. This was Celtioma Citri, or Lady Citri, Sona's mother, and much like Venelana, Misla and Ruby, she too had been friends with Kushina when she was still alive. What about him? Asked Ruby. Nothing bad, just his fire is blue and I couldn't take control of it when I tried to, and I don't even think he was controlling it at the time, declared Ruvel. Well, he is a phoenix and a Gremry, and the Gremry blood is mutagenic, his powers probably mutated. I'm fairly sure that's what your grandfather was hoping for when he signed Minato up to marry Kushina, said Ruby with a shrug. We should test his flames to make sure he isn't a danger to anyone he works with. Not that I think Naruto would be, but just to be safe, suggested Venelana, getting a nod from the other 3 women. After we finish this glass, at least it would be a shame to let such a fine wine go to waste, spoke Celtioma, with a smile, getting another nod from the woman at the small table. With Naruto moments before Naruto flew away from Ruvel, he could feel Rias, Sona, Serorg, Akino and Subaki waiting nearby for him. Floating down to the ground, Naruto landed 5 feet in front of them with his back to them. Naruto-kun, spoke Rias softly from behind him. Naruto sighed and turned to face his friends, who looked either ashamed or apologetic, or a combination of both. Naruto-kun, we're all sorry about constantly asking about your scars. We'll stop it, just please stop avoiding us, pleaded Sona, stepping forwards. What? Questioned Naruto, looking at Sona. Naruto-kun, we're sorry, we'll stop asking about your scars, just stop avoiding us please, begged Rias, stepping towards Naruto. Thank you, muttered Naruto, quietly looking down. The 5 other devils all raised an eyebrow. For what, Naruto-kun? Asked Akino, confused. only for the blonde to look up at the five of them with tears in his eye. Why are you crying, Naruto? Asked Subaki, scared that they had all offended him. Sorry, I've just never had friends like you guys before, spoke Naruto, wiping away his tears, before smiling back at the five young devils. So are we all good, buddy? Asked Sarorg, stepping up and throwing his arm around Naruto's neck. Naruto smiled and nodded. Yeah, we're all good, declared Naruto with a grin. Does that mean you're coming back home? Asked Rias excitedly, only for Naruto to shake his head. Not right away, I want to stay here for at least a few more days, said Naruto, getting a reluctant nod from Rias. So while we're here, do you want to play a game, Naruto? Asked Sona with a smile, getting a nod from Naruto. Half an hour later, Naruto watched from a tree as his friends all ran around looking for him. They were all playing hide and seek. Naruto was hiding in a tree and none of his friends thought to look up. Naruto-kun, where are you? We give up, called Rias, looking around for Naruto. The young blonde smirked to himself as he watched her walk underneath him. Silently dropping from the tree, Naruto snuck up behind Rias. Boo, spoke Naruto, grabbing Rias' shoulders. H, squealed Rias, jumping up out of Naruto's grip, spinning around as she flared her wings out and gathered her magic in her hands. Ha 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 ha, you should have seen your face, laughed Naruto as Rias realized it was him. However, Naruto stopped laughing when the red and black magic of Rias' power of destruction. You asshole, you scared me half to death, growled Rias as she flung her other ball of black and red magic at Naruto, who jumped out of the way and ran back towards the others as Rias continually gathered magic and flung it at Naruto, who jumped out of the way of the attacks. Once back with the group of devils, Naruto quickly hid behind Akino. Akino, move, growled Rias upon seeing her target behind her queen. Yufufu, I'm sorry Naruto-kun, my king is ordering me to move, said Akino with a smile. Don't let her attack me please, I'll do anything, spoke Naruto, cowering behind the girl. Anything, Yufufu, you should be careful what you say, Naruto-kun, spoke the girl with a grin to the blonde. Unfortunately, Akino-chan, you'll have to torment Naruto some other time. We have other things to do, came the voice of Venelana from nearby. Other things, Venelano Basin? Questioned Naruto, looking at the woman. Yes, Naruto-chan, it's about time we find out if your blue fire is purely an aesthetic change or if there is special properties to your flames, said Ruby, making Naruto look to her confused. All fire magic is either red, orange, or blue. Yours, however, is blue. Gremories, while inherently having more control of their magic, is their most commonly known trait. Gremory blood is also mutagenic, so we are going to test if your blue fire is just a color change or something more, declared Venelana. How so? Asked Naruto. Well, with fire magic there are 5 main things to test, the first being if a stronger pyromancer can take control of your fire, then your control of another person's fire. After that you have if it works as a shield of other energy-based attacks, how the fire reacts to water, and the heat of the fire, although for now the heat isn't important, spoke Ruby, getting a nod from Naruto. Can we help? Asked Sona, looking at the 4 elder devils curiously. Well, if you want to help you can help with testing the fire as a shield and how it behaves with water, said Ruby. I'll help with the water, declared Sona, getting a nod from Ruby. I'll help with the testing the fire's defense, declared Rias, also getting a nod from Ruby. But to start its controls, so just back up a bit would you, spoke Ruby, getting a nod from the 5 young devils who stood back. Alright Naruto-chan, I want out to make a fireball the size of a basketball, said Ruby. Okay Ruby Obasin, said Naruto before increasing the size of the fireball to the requested size. Okay Naruto-kun, I'm about to try and take control of the fire. I want you to try and resist if you feel your control slipping, declared Ruby, getting a nod from Naruto. The pure phoenix then tried to manipulate Naruto's fireball, but to her surprise she couldn't. She had in her prime been the best pyromancer in the underworld by a clear margin. If she couldn't take control, no one could. She tried again to manipulate his fire, but again no success. Okay Naruto-kun, you can stop now, I can't manipulate the fireball, declared Ruby, making Naruto grin. Don't smile yet Naruto-kun, there's still a lot more to do, said Ruby. What next? Asked Naruto. Okay, next we want to see if you taking control of another's fire turns it into your blue fire, said Ruby, making a serpent of fire for Naruto to take control of. Naruto concentrated for a moment on the fire before he felt his control over it become solid. Ruby watched on as the flame serpent turned light blue and followed Naruto's manipulation. Once more she tried to take control of the fire. However, despite it being her fire, Naruto's control over the fire was absolute. Okay Naruto-chan, you can stop, said Ruby, making Naruto nod. Rias, you're up, declared Venelana, getting a nod from her daughter, who stood up and walked over to opposite Naruto. Now, in case Naruto's fire is all offense and no defense, Naruto, create a wall of flames next to you. Rias, aim new power of destruction at the fire wall, spoke Ruby, getting a nod from the 2 young devils. Naruto stood there and created a small ball of fire before manipulating it into a large wall of flames that floated next to the young phoenix Gremory. Ready whenever you are, Rias-chan, declared Naruto, holding the wall of flames at the ready. Rias nodded and began focusing her own magical power around her hands. A red magic circle formed in front of her, and out of it shot a serpent-like flow of a red and black aura that flew right at the flames. However, the magic traveled straight through the flames, leaving a hole in the wall the shape of the wall. The female phoenix nodded at the results, almost expecting as much. Okay, so the fire has no defensive capabilities. Thank you Rias-chan, said Ruby. Rias curtsied before walking back over to the rest of the devils. Next up, water, said Ruby before looking over to the group of devils. Sona-chan, your turn, said Venelana, getting a nod from the Citri heiress, who stood up and walked over opposite Naruto. Okay, you two just aim at each other, but try to keep it calm as you are aiming at each other, said Ruby. The two young devils nodded, blue magic circles forming in front of each of them. Sona's a dark blue, light blue for Naruto, and in the blink of an eye a water dragon shot forwards out of Sona's magic circle, while out of Naruto shot a stream of fire. No one was expecting anything to happen, but as soon as the two magics hit each other, and in the blink of an eye the flames engulfed the water dragon, and shot back at Sona, hitting and burning her. Sona-chan! Screamed everyone as Naruto ran forwards and was beside Sona before anyone else. Ruby held up her arm, stopping everyone from approaching them. As soon as Naruto appeared in front of Sona, she backed up a bit. Sona-chan, I'm so sorry. Here, let me help you, said Naruto, reaching forwards. Sona flinched away, but Naruto reached forwards, his hands becoming cloaked in his flames as he touched her skin. However, instead of burning the skin of the purple-eyed girl, the burns from the previous attack began to heal, shocking everyone including Naruto. Naruto stood in the Gremry Castle grounds alone with Akino. It had been a week since Rias, Sona, Sarorg, Akino and Subaki had apologized to Naruto, and a few days since the blonde had returned to Gremry Castle. Naruto was alone with Akino for two reasons. One was Rias was with her father on some important business which only required the Gremry heiress, and the second was Naruto was asking Akino for advice. I'm not sure I have anything you haven't already heard, Naruto-kun, spoke Akino, looking at the blonde apologetically. Well, anything, even if I have already heard it, could be helpful, Akino-chan, spoke Naruto with a shrug. Alright, but again, lightning is my main element, not fire, but I'll help if I can, spoke the girl, getting a nod from Naruto. Okay, first of all, Naruto-kun, spoke the girl, interrupted when Naruto was pushed away from her and a group of 10 beings surrounded her. Akino-sama, enough is enough, your father wants you to come home, declared one of the beings. You can tell him he can drop dead, he has no right to call me his daughter, growled Akino, glaring at the fallen angel before her. Akino-chan? You're a fallen angel? Questioned Naruto, drawing the girl's attention to him. Akino looked at him horrified. In her rage she had forgotten the blonde was there. Yes, spoke Akino, looking away as tears began to form in her eyes. Stay back, Runt, this doesn't concern you, declared the leader of the group. Get the fuck away from my friend, snarled Naruto, throwing his hand towards the fallen angels, and in the blink of an eye one of the creatures was engulfed in a light blue flame, while Naruto himself was engulfed in a red bubbly substance. Crap, you Kai, called one of the fallen angels before all of them turned to him, creating a wall between him and Akino. And Naruto? Questioned the girl herself upon seeing Naruto caked in a red glow. Before any of the fallen angels could do anything, Naruto blurred forwards, his wings flaring out as he went, and his hands exploding in blue fire. Jumping over the fallen angel wall, Naruto kicked one in the head, forcing them back as he landed in front of Akino, who looked into the now blood-red eyes of Naruto, scared. Are you okay, Akino? Asked Naruto, looking at her worried. Akino nodded lightly at her formerly heterochromic friend. Naruto, look out, called Akino, pushing Naruto to the side as a glowing yellow spear sailed through the air where Naruto had just been. Naruto's head slowly turned back towards the fallen angels, glaring at them. Naruto fully turned to the fallen angels, glaring at them before he bolted forwards, and before the closest fallen angel could do anything, Naruto swiped his flaming clawed hand across the man's throat, leaving 5 identical slash marks to spurt out blood. This is my fight, I can't let Naruto-kun fight it for me, declared Akino to herself as she let her own wings flare out, and she flew backwards into the air, her hands sparking. Naruto meanwhile had moved towards the second fallen angel and jumped into the air, attempting to swipe at him, only for the man to bring up a spear of light to block Naruto's clawed hand. You'll pay for this, brat, growled the man. However, Naruto glared before willing some of the fire from both of his wings to shoot forwards and around Naruto's hand and the man's light spear before hitting the fallen angel and engulfing the man in blue flames. As the semi-holy creature began to scream, Naruto brought his free hand up, slicing into the man's neck, making blood spurt from the open wounds as the fallen angel fell to the ground dead. Before Naruto could move on to his next target, the blonde heard a loud thunder crack behind him. Spinning around, Naruto found a female fallen angel behind him, sparking as if hit by lightning, smirking as he spotted the airborne Akino. Naruto's hand swung around him, slamming into the sparking woman's face, his fingers digging into her skin and trough her skull. As she screamed in pain, Naruto ended her life by ripping a huge chunk of her face out of her body, leaving her to fall to the ground and blood to pour out of the missing chunk of face. Naruto turned around to the remaining 6 fallen angels, all looking somewhat more on guard. The Phoenix Gremry dropped low to the ground as a single tail formed in the bubbly substance around Naruto before he once more lunged forwards towards the fallen angels. Leaping over one, Naruto grabbed onto their wings as he fell, pulling the being backwards, making him fall down, while also wrapping his legs around the fallen angel's neck. As the two hit the ground, Naruto pulled his legs back when a sickening crunch sound was heard and the fallen angel above Naruto went limp. However, as Naruto pushed the limp body off of him, a light spear flew forwards and pierced Naruto's shoulder. Naruto, screamed Akino, looking to her friend horrified. Fucking bitch, growled Naruto as he ripped the light spear out of his shoulder before it dissolved. Akino snarled and sent a torrent of lightning at the fallen angel that threw the spear, electrocuting him, making fallen angel spasm before dropping to the ground smoking. Naruto jumped to his feet before running forwards. As he drew close to his next target, he jumped into a spin as his fire flared around him, forming a flaming cyclone that slammed into the fallen angel, knocking her back into a stumble. Naruto landed just in front of the stumbling woman before he dived forwards, his claw-like hands cloaked in flames, as he slammed his hand into the left side of the fallen angel's chest. The blonde redhead then clenched his hand around the fallen angel's heart and wrenched it out of the woman's chest, still squirting blood as the woman dropped to the ground in an ever-growing pool of her own blood. Naruto suddenly heard a thunderclap behind him. Turning, he saw a light spear dissolving on the ground with a fallen angel not far behind it. Naruto was about to charge at the man, however Akino dropped from the sky, landing in a kneeling position on the man's shoulders. "Akino-sama?" questioned the man, only for her to smile a sickly sweet smile at him before squeezing his head between her thighs and violently twisting her hips to the side, and once more a sickening crunch sound was heard as the fallen angel's neck was snapped. With that done, Akino flew back into the air as Naruto turned to the two remaining fallen angels, whom both had light spears in hand. "You are so dead, brat," growled the only remaining female fallen angel before she ran forwards at Naruto. The blonde red-haired devil himself broke into a run and ran towards the woman, his form still cloaked in the red glow of Yukai. As Naruto drew close to the female fallen angel, the other remaining fallen angel jumped over them both, flaring his wings out and hanging in the air in such a position that Akino couldn't attack him without the risk of hitting Naruto. Naruto jumped up, flames in his hands roaring as he descended upon the woman below him. However, she brought up her light spear, blocking his attack. The woman quickly pushed Naruto back a bit before jumping and kicking him in the chest, sending the young blonde backwards. Akino saw what was about to happen and flew forwards trying to stop it, but she was too slow, as the male fallen angel's spear pierced Naruto's back, going through the blonde's skin before coming out of Naruto's chest. "Naruto!" screamed Akino upon seeing the blonde skewered by the light spear. Her blood boiling, Akino's hands arced with white lightning glaring at the two remaining fallen angels. The ebony-haired woman threw her hands forwards, the holy lightning arcing from her hands into the male fallen angel's form, making the man who previously wore a smirk fall to the ground in a spasm. The man's eyes bulged before exploding from the lightning as Akino flew towards him, landing next to his down form. "This is for Naruto-kun," snarled the girl, slamming her foot into the man's skull before the other fallen angel could do anything to save him. Akino turned to the last remaining fallen angel only to see a ball of red and black magic fly towards the woman, engulfing the creature before simply erasing her from existence. Akino watched as the woman vanished with satisfaction before running over to the down Naruto. "Naruto-kun, Naruto-kun," called Akino, holding the boy's head in her lap as she cried. "Didansi cry Akino-chan," spoke Naruto weakly, reaching up, putting his hand on her cheek before his hand went limp. "Naruto, Naruto, Naruto," screamed Akino. Unknown location. Naruto groaned as he woke up to darkness above him with walls to the side. Sitting up, Naruto saw he was in what appeared to be a cross between a sewer and a boiler room, water on the floor with two pipes running along the wall, one being what looked to be about a foot in diameter and was a deep shade of blue. The other looked to be about 3 times as large and was a deep blood red. "Where am I?" asked Naruto, sitting up looking around. The blonde saw 3 pathways, one to his left, one to his right, and one straight ahead of him. Pushing himself to his feet, Naruto stood up looking around him. "Left, middle, or right?" questioned Naruto to himself, looking at the 3 pathways. Shrugging, Naruto walked down the center pathway. Naruto followed the path for what seemed to be hours with no difference in the paths around him. Just as Naruto was about to give up and turn around, he came to a huge room, half of which was barred off, the bars ascending into the darkness above him. At what Naruto assumed was the center of the bars was a large box that Naruto could only assume was the lock to the cage given. Covering the entire piece was a large sheet of paper with the kanji for seal on it. "Hello?" called Naruto quietly into the darkness of the cage, only to get no response. "Hello?" called Naruto a little louder, only once more to get no response. "Hello?" called Naruto once more. "Naru-chan?" came a feminine voice from behind the bars, making Naruto jump as he looked into the darkness. "How do you know my name?" questioned Naruto, squinting at the darkness, trying to make out any shapes within the darkness. "Well, it would be silly for a mother not to know her son's name now, wouldn't it?" questioned the womanly voice as out of the shadows stepped a woman. A woman Naruto was familiar with, but only through photos. She had knee-length long red hair and pure ocean blue eyes. "Hello, Sochi," spoke Kushina with a smile, only for a blonde and red blur to shoot through the bars and crash into her chest, knocking her down. "Ka-chan," wailed Naruto, hugging the woman crying against her chest. "It's okay, Naru-chan, Ka-chan's here," muttered Kushina, wrapping her arms around her crying son and rubbing his back as he cried. "How? Everyone thought you were dead?" questioned Naruto, looking up at his mother. "That's where things get a little complicated. Tell me, Sochi, what do you know of the Kyuubi's attack on Konoha?" asked Kushina, looking down at Naruto. "I was told that the Kyuubi just suddenly appeared on the day I was born and ran rampart in Konoha until Tousand came in and teleported the Kyuubi away and sacrificed himself to kill it," said Naruto. "Well, that is partially right. The Kyuubi did attack on the day you were born running rampart in Konoha, and your father did teleport it away and sacrifice himself, but not to kill it. The Kyuubi had been sealed in me, however, when a female Jinchuriki, holder of a Biju, gives birth, the seal is weakened. While the seal was in this weakened state, a masked man attacked me, you and your father. Taking you hostage, he separated your father and me and ripped the Kyuubi out of the seal. Using his Sharingan, forced the beast to attack Konoha. Your father teleported the Kyuubi away to reseal it, I begged him to seal it back in me, but we both knew he couldn't do that, so we had to seal it in a new host you. However, in that seal Minato also sealed part of his and my own souls. What neither he nor myself had realized was that my soul and the Kyuubi had begun to merge from the years that it had spent sealed within me. My soul latched onto the Kyuubi, and we fully merged and have spent the last 9 years fighting for control over the Yukai, mind and body of the Kyuubi, explained Kushina. And you won? Questioned Naruto. Yes, I am now the Kyuubi. I have all of the power, Yukai and memories of the Kyuubi, but I am the dominant mind, said Kushina with a smile. I'm just glad you're alive, Ka-chan, said Naruto with a teary smile as he hugged his mother. Don't worry, Sochi, I'll never leave you again, declared Kushina, hugging Naruto tightly. So tell me about yourself, Naruto-chan. I want to know all about my baby boy, said Kushina with a smile towards her son. Gremory Castle. Laying on his bed unconscious was Naruto. He had been unconscious since the fallen angel attack, and since the attack Akino had not left his side, refusing to leave until she knew he was okay. Rias, Sona, Subaki and Sarorg had been coming and going every couple of hours, checking on both Akino and Naruto. Sona and Subaki having been staying with the Gremory until they both knew Naruto was okay. Naruto's eyes fluttered open to see the ceiling of his room in Gremory Castle. He felt something holding his hand tightly and heard some sniffling from next to him. Looking towards the source of the sound, he found Akino with her head down, holding his hand tightly. Naruto-kun, whimpered the woman as tears fell down her face. Naruto squeezed her hand, making her look up just as Naruto brought his hand up to her face, gently wiping away her tears with his finger. Don't cry, Akino-chan, said Naruto with a smile. The ebony-haired girl's eyes went wide. Naruto Keiyan, screamed the girl, lunging forwards, wrapping her arms around his neck, hugging him tightly. Thank Lucifer-sama, you're okay, spoke Akino as she hugged him. I'm fine, Akino-chan, I'm fine. What about you, are you okay? Asked Naruto, gently pushing the girl back to an arm's length away so he could make sure she was fine. Naruto studied his friend. Her hair was messy and grimy, her face was pale, and she had bags under her eyes. I'm fine, I was just so worried about you, muttered the girl, hugging Naruto closely again. The blonde redhead wrapped his arms around her. I'm fine, Akino-chan, I swear, said Naruto, smiling as he hugged the crying girl. Naruto-kun, spoke Rias from the door as she ran in, having heard Akino's scream, before Rias ran into the room and tackle-hugged Naruto, who managed to stay upright despite Rias tackling him. I'm fine, Rias, spoke Naruto, wrapping one arm around the girl, who began to cry. You scared us all, Naruto. You were stabbed through the chest by a light spear, declared Rias, pulling back from the hug to look at the blonde. Naruto-kun, came another voice from the doorway before an ebony blur came flying through the air, hitting Naruto, pushing him, Akino and Rias down. I'm fine, Sona, spoke Naruto, rubbing her back. She's just happy to see you up, Naruto. You have been unconscious for a week now, spoke Subaki from the doorway. A week? Questioned Naruto, unbelieving. Yes, Naruto, a week. You were essentially poisoned by the light spears. To be honest, I'm surprised you're awake this quickly, spoke a voice from the doorway. Naruto sat up, bringing Akino, Rias, and Sona up with him, looking towards the door to see Zyataka standing there. Ka-chan flushed the holy magic from my system, said Naruto, causing everyone else in the room to frown. Your mother, Naruto Kushina, is dead, said Zyataka, looking at Naruto sadly. No, she's alive, just in a different form. She's now a Yukai. She had a Yukai sealed in her for years, and the two of them started to merge. But on the night I was born, that Yukai was extracted from her before attacking Konoha, but my two-sen sealed the Yukai, along with fragments of his soul and Ka-chan's soul, into me. With my Ka-chan's soul fragment, and the Yukai she had partially merged was sealed in me, her soul latched onto the Yukai, and it fought for the body of the Yukai, and she won, declared Naruto, making the other beings in the room look at him skeptically. You were hit with holy magic, Naruto. Holy magic has been said to cause hallucinations and devils in small quantities, said Zyataka, looking at Naruto skeptically. Naruto looked down disappointedly. Naruto-chan, honey, tells Zyataka Spaka the first time he used a sword he nearly cut his own hand off, came the voice of Kushina in Naruto's mind. Zyataka Sages and Ka-chan told me the first time you used a sword you nearly cut your own hand off, spoke Naruto, making Zyataka's eyes go wide. Damn it, Kushina, of everything you could have said, it had to be that? Questioned Zyataka, making all of the young devils laugh. So it is Kushina-sama then? Asked Sona, looking to Zyataka, getting a nod from the man. Anyway, Naruto, I came by to apologize for those fallen angels even getting that far. We are currently trying to work out who sent them, but you and Akino should be safe, spoke Zyataka, looking to Naruto, who nodded. Several hours later, Naruto was walking around the castle grounds, having been left alone by his friends to sleep after they were sure he was okay. Naruto had woken up and decided to go for a walk and was currently walking outside, wandering through the castle grounds. Hey Naruto-kun, come here, there's someone I want you to meet, called Rias, waving to Naruto. The blonde devil walked over to his friend. Naruto saw a girl with white hair and gold eyes looking nervous next to Rias. Naruto-kun, this is Keniko-chan, she is my rook, said Rias, holding Kaneko's shoulders as she introduced the girl to Naruto. Hey Keniko-chan, nice to meet you, said Naruto with a smile. The white-haired girl looked up at him and let a small smile grace her features before in an instant the smile was gone. You smell like a fox, said Keniko, looking up at Naruto. I have a kitsune sealed in me, that's probably why, said Naruto. Hey wait, how can you smell a fox on me? Asked Naruto, looking down at the girl. She's a Nikomata, said Rias. Wait, wasn't there something about began Naruto, only for Rias to cover his mouth. She's the younger sister of the one that went crazy and attacked her master, and don't talk about it in front of her, whispered Rias to Naruto, who quickly nodded. Several days later, Naruto sat with Sona, Subaki, Rias, Akino, Keniko and Sarorg. The group of them were simply outside enjoying the sunlight and fresh air, all of them having finished their various activities anywhere from half an hour to 2 hours ago. Naruto-sama, Rias-sama, Sona-sama, Subaki-san, Akino-san, Lord Gremory wished to speak with you five, said Graphia, walking up to the group of young devils. The five mentioned devils turned to look at the woman before standing up. Let's go see what he wants, said Naruto, shrugging as he looked to his four friends, who nodded. We'll be back soon, declared Rias, turning to the two remaining young devils. No rush, Rias-sama, spoke Keniko with a small smile as stretched before laying back on the ground. The five young devils followed Graphia, who led them to Zeoticus' office. Walking into the office, they found Zeoticus, Rilvine, and Father, why are you here? Asked Sona, confused, looking at the last man in the room. I came here with an idea for these two regarding the five of you, said Sona's father, getting raised eyebrows from the young devils. There has been a number of Rouge Devils gathering in London the last couple of weeks, and as such we are sending you five to investigate. Graphia will be accompanying you, however she has already been instructed that if you end up getting into a fight with these Rouge Devils that she is not to interfere unless it appears that one of you is going to die, declared Zeoticus. But father, what about Keniko? Shouldn't she be accompanying us as well? She is part of my peerage as well? Questioned Rias. Normally that would be the case, but she has little to no training of any form and would be more a hinder than a help, said Zeoticus, getting a reluctant nod from the Gremory heiress. When do we leave? Asked Naruto. As soon as you five are ready, said Rilvine, getting a nod from the five children. About an hour later, the five young devils once more stood in Zeoticus' office, all five of them having spent the last hour packing what they needed for a week in the overworld should it come to that. Are you five set? Asked Graphia, looking at the five young devils she was watching over for however long the mission turned out to be, getting a nod from each of them. Alright, well, here we go, said Graphia, creating a teleportation circle beneath the six of them. Unknown location. The six devils materialized in what appeared to be an abandoned warehouse. Looking around, the young devils noticed Graphia had vanished, likely just after they materialized to let them do what was asked of them while she watched over them. So what's the plan? Asked Naruto, looking to his friends. He had no experience in anything like this. Well, first of all we need to locate the Rouge Devils, said Rias, rubbing her chin. That should be rather easy given devils have a rather unique energy signature compared to the rest of the humans in this city, said Sona, adjusting her glasses. Got them, muttered Naruto, making the girls look back at him. What? Asked Naruto, noticing their stares. That was quick, said Sona, raising an eyebrow. Well, like you said, devils give off a different energy signature. Come on, I'll lead the way, said Naruto, walking over to an exit to the building before stealthily looking out of the building, once more confusing the four girls. What are you doing, Naruto-san? Questioned Subaki, looking at the blonde. Checking to make sure the coast is clear so we can fly out of here. Don't need humans knowing about us now, do we? Questioned Naruto, getting a nod from the four girls. All clear, come on, said Naruto, flaring his wings out as he took off out of the building, the four girls following quickly after him. Are you sure you can sense the stray devils, Naruto-kun? I can't sense anything, declared Rias with a confused look. Yeah, me either, declared Sona, looking towards her friend. Yes, I'm sure, said Naruto as he led the four girls towards where he could sense multiple different energies. The four girls followed him. It took a few moments, but Sona and Rias were soon able to sense the stray devils, confusing the two clan heiresses. I wonder why he could sense them from so much further away. Questioned Sona, looking at Naruto as she followed him. The five devils landed on the outskirts of the city near yet another abandoned building. So what now, Naruto-kun? Questioned Akino, looking to the leader of five of them. Wait here a second and suppress your power as best you can. I'm going to see if I can get a look at what we're up against, said Naruto. Before jumping up onto the roof of the building, he crept over to a glass section of the roof. Taking careful consideration to not allow a shadow to be cast from his form, Naruto looked through the glass at the devils. They all looked basically humanoid. But then again, this was while they were unaware they were being watched. There were three of them, there one woman, two men. The woman had long dark hair, and from what Naruto could see she had red eyes. She also had a pair of bat-like wings, similar but at the same time different from the devil's own wings. He recognized the wings but couldn't remember where from. But then it hit him. That's right, they're succubus wings, muttered Naruto, information on succubi flashing into his mind as he looked down through the glass. Apparently there were two stray devils and a succubus. The two men didn't look like much, both skinny, both had dark brown hair. One had blue eyes while the other had green eyes. Naruto quickly and silently moved back down to his friends. What did you find, Naruto-san? Asked Subaki, looking at the blonde. I could see a pair of stray devils and a succubus, said the blonde, looking at his four friends. Alright, here's the PL, began Sona, interrupted by screaming coming from inside the building. Quickly moving to the entrance, Naruto and his friends, who could no longer sense the stray devils inside but another presence replaced them. Naruto held his hand up to stop the others from getting past him, taking the lead as the five of them quickly slipped inside and hid stealthily in the doorway to the warehouse's main area. Whoever is there, you can come out, your boss is dead, came a disembodied voice from within the room. Naruto, that presence, it's a female vampire, a Draculina, I think, came the voice of Kushina from within Naruto's mind. We will come out, but you are mistaken, they were not our boss, we were here to eliminate them, much like yourself, Draculina, said Naruto, stressing the last word, making all other occupants of the room, including the hidden Graphia and the woman herself, go wide-eyed. How did you know? Questioned a distinctly feminine voice. My mother has met your kind before, said Naruto simply as he and his party stepped out of the doorway and into the room. My, aren't you 5 a little young to be out on your own? Questioned the voice sarcastically. We have shown ourselves, would you at least do us the same courtesy? Questioned Naruto. The shadows gathered around a stack of boxes as a woman with platinum blonde hair cut into a flare cut. She had blood-red eyes and a military-style uniform in the same color as her eyes. It can't be, muttered Kushina within Naruto's mind. What Kacchan? Asked Naruto. She looks like someone my bishop told me about, a vampire, his own servant for a time named Sarah's Victoria. He spoke very highly of her, declared Kushina. Sarah's Victoria? Questioned Naruto, looking at the woman, who glared back at him. How do you know my name? Snarled the woman. As I have said, my mother has met your kind before, and she says your previous master spoke highly of you, said Naruto, once more making the woman narrow her eyes at him. Whatever you are planning, I swear I will stop you, declared Sarah's, glaring at the 5 young devils. As I said, we have no affiliation with those 3, we were here to eliminate them, same as you spoke, Naruto. I doubt that you give off the same aura as those 3, declared Sarah's. And you've never been on a different side to someone of your own species? Questioned Naruto almost instantly. That's not the point, there have been hundreds of you creatures here in the last few weeks, replied Sarah's. You're monsters who attack innocents, that's all I need to know, declared the blonde vampire. And you're not vampire? Questioned Naruto, narrowing his eyes at the woman. Well, stop trying to mess with my mind, growled Sarah's, her blood-red eyes glowing as she glared at Naruto. I swear on my father's grave I am not trying to mess with your mind. If you do not believe me, began Naruto, pulling the neckline of his shirt aside. Then I invite you to drink my blood and see for yourself, finished the blonde redhead. Naruto, what are you doing? Questioned Rias, looking confused at the blonde. She has no knowledge of devils. She may serve as a powerful ally should we explain to her who we are and who they were, and this is the quickest way, declared Naruto. I will see for myself, but if this is a trick, you 6 will not clear the building, said Sarah's, shocking all of the devils to varying degrees. Sarah's walked over to Naruto and sunk her fangs into his flesh, making blood spill out before she licked up the scarlet liquid. Stepping back from Naruto, Sarah stood still for a moment before she screamed, clutching her head and dropping to her knees. Sarah's, said Naruto, rushing quickly to the woman's side. She looked up at him, tears running down her face. She shifted into a kneeling position in front of Naruto. Naruto-sama, please allow me to serve you as either a member of your peerage or simply a guardian, said the woman, looking down at the ground, making everyone look at her confused. I have seen your memories, I have seen who you are. You are the type of person I would pledge my loyalty to, declared the Draculina, kneeling to the young devil who was still shocked. Naruto, take her up on her offer. She is a pure Draculina, one of the last of the Draco bloodline, the most powerful vampire bloodline. She had the capacity to be one of the strongest devils in the underworld, said Kushina's voice from within Naruto's mind, snapping Naruto out of his pseudo-trance. Stand, Sarah's, ordered Naruto, making the blonde vampire look to the man who she was asking to be her master before following his order and standing at her full height, almost double that of Naruto. I accept your offer, Sarah's, and I will convert you to my peerage should I be able. If not, I will train until I can, declared Naruto, getting a nod from the woman. It appears that we are done a lot sooner than we expected, spoke Graphia, appearing beside all of the devils and vampire. If you are all done, then we can head back to the underworld, said Graphia, looking to everyone, getting nods from the young devils but a shake of the head from Sarah's. I have a few personal belongings that are not with me. I'll go get them and be back in about 20 minutes, spoke Sarah's before she vanished into the shadows. Naruto, back in the underworld, stood in his room facing a chessboard that was set up with white and red pieces. Standing behind him looking at him curiously was Sarah's. The two had returned along with the other 5 devils not 10 minutes prior, only to find Zeoticus, Rilvine and Lord Citri had all been drinking, so Naruto, Rias, Akino, Sona and Subaki had decided to leave, telling the men what had occurred until the next morning. Naruto closed his eyes, trying to get a grasp on the level of Sarah's power and comparing it to the power within his pieces. She was already incredibly powerful, so he knew he would have to use a mutation piece, and even then he might have to use multiple pieces. What are you doing, Naruto-sama? Asked Sarah's, looking at Naruto curiously. Trying to work out what piece or pieces I can use to convert you. Your power is extraordinary. I don't think even all of my pawns, including my 3 mutation pieces, would be able to convert you, declared Naruto, opening his eyes, turning to the blonde vampire. Sarah's herself looked rather surprised by his statement, however was even more so when Naruto picked up a piece from his board. Catch, called Naruto, tossing the blood-red chess, slightly glowing chess piece to Sarah's, who snatched the piece out of the air. As soon as the piece touched her skin, it began to glow brighter. Are you sure you wish to use your mutation queen on me? Questioned Sarah's, already knowing about the piece from Naruto's memories. Yes, answered the red-haired blonde simply. Lay down so we can begin, instructed Naruto, stepping aside to allow Sarah's to lay on his bed. Doing as ordered, Sarah's lay on Naruto's bed before passing the queen back to Naruto. As he climbed onto the bed next to her, Naruto put the chess piece on the blonde woman's chest just above her rather large breasts before standing up. I commend thee as Naruto Gremory Phoenix. Mine command, Sarah's Victoria, is to serve and protect me. I seal this contract. Be reborn, declared Naruto, both he and Sarah's watching in mild curiosity as the blood-red queen piece sunk into Sarah's chest. Once it was fully inside her body, she herself glowed briefly before she returned to normal. Sitting up, Sarah's blinked a couple of times. I feel so much more powerful, declared the woman, looking down at her hands as she clenched and unclenched her fingers. Perks of a queen, I would say, suggested Naruto. Speaking of perks, given I am now a member of your peerage, I should have gained some of your innate abilities, yes? Questioned Sarah's. Well, probably my pyrokinesis and possibly my blue flames, spoke Naruto, only to watch as Sarah's flicked her left hand out, palm upwards, and a ball of blue fire formed about an inch off of her hand. I guess that answers that then, said Naruto, looking at the blue flames as Sarah's waved the fireball around, watching as the flames followed her hand. I'll leave you to get acquainted with your new powers then, Sarah's, spoke Naruto, getting a nod from the woman who quickly left the room. Naruto looked around his room before shrugging and walking out of the room himself. Walking through the halls looking for something to do, Naruto saw Keniko walking by herself. Kaniko-chan? Asked Naruto confusedly, seeing the young woman. Oh, hello Naruto-san, spoke the girl, turning to see Naruto. I would have thought you would have been with Rias, said Naruto, looking at the young Nakomata confused. I was, but I felt like going for a walk through the gardens, declared the golden-eyed girl. Care for some company? Asked Naruto, getting a shrug from the young girl as she turned back around and walked away, Naruto falling into step beside her. The two walked in silence through the halls towards the front of the castle. Walking straight out, the two headed towards the gardens. Gremory Castle had a large garden area with plants from all over the world in different sections of the garden, sectioned off by their optimal growing climate, and then runes used to match that climate. The west entrance where Naruto and Keniko entered was a largely tropical area which reminded Naruto of the Land of Fire as he walked through it, the climates being very similar. As the two walked, neither noticed that they were being watched from the skies above them. The two young devils walked through the gardens and ended up in a gazebo in the center, taking a seat within. Are you okay, Nico-chan? You seem like you have something on your mind? Asked Naruto, looking at the girl who was looking down. Letting out a sigh, she turned to face him. I'm so confused, my sister. Everyone is saying she went insane with power and attacked her master. I'm not sure. She was always so nice to me. I don't want to believe she would go insane and attack her master. I just want to see my sister again, spoke Keniko, beginning to cry. Naruto reached out and pulled the girl into a hug, shocking her, but as she felt him holding her in a comforting embrace, her floodgates broke and tears began to fall down her face like a pair of waterfalls. Naruto hugged the girl, letting her cry on his shoulder. He would have offered words of comfort, but he didn't know what to say, so he settled for letting her cry. Keniko didn't know how long she had been crying, nor did she care to know, but after what felt like hours, her crying slowed to the occasional choked sobs. Better now? Asked Naruto, looking down at the white-haired girl who looked up at him with her puffy and bloodshot eyes. Nodded as he wiped the last remnants of her tears from her eyes. Don't bottle that stuff up, Nico-chan. Talk with Rias, or if you would prefer, you can talk to me. Just don't bottle it up, said Naruto, getting a nod from the girl as she smiled weakly at him. Keniko shuffled herself around and lay her head on Naruto's legs. Naruto quirked a brow before shrugging and gently ran his hand through the short white locks of Kaniko's hair as she lay on him, her eyes drifting shut. However, before she could fall asleep, Naruto suddenly picked her up and jumped out of the gazebo. Kaniko, shocked by his action, was about to ask what was going on, only for the answer to be abundantly clear as Keniko looked back at the wooden structure that now had a hole in the roof over where the two had just been sitting. Naruto was protectively holding Keniko as he looked up, looking for the source of the attack. The blonde redhead's eyes locked onto a form floating up in the sky on a pair of devil-like wings. However, instead of coming out of the creature's back, they originated at the creature's hips. The creature looked vaguely like a devil but gave off a different aura than a devil, still an unholy one but not that of a devil. The creature appeared to be male, and had light purplish blue skin, short, wildly spiky ebony black hair, pinkish purple irises with ebony black sclera, and extending from his forehead were a pair of cream yellow horns curving upwards. The man wore a black turtleneck jacket covering his torso and extending down to his wrists, leaving his hands with claw-like fingernails open for all to see. For pants, the creature wore a pair of black suit pants extending down to a pair of fine shoes. Out of the top of his pants, a simple tail that ended with what looked like an arrowhead. Finally, hanging lazily around his neck was a white pointed scarf, at each end of which were two designs. The first of these designs were at the tip of the scarf, three black teardrop shapes. The one in the middle with the tail facing the point at the end of the scarf, while the other two had the points to the sides slightly curved upwards, looking vaguely like a skull. The second design was a black skull with two wings flaring out from the top, curving back towards each other, and a purple star in the middle. Naruto glared up at the creature who floated in the air above the two young devils. In the left hand of the creature was a blade. The hilt of the blade looked like two strands of something twisted around a core. The pommel appeared to be a spike with four skull shapes. The guard looked like a piranha-like creature, the blade coming out of the mouth with a pair of wings coming out of the top and bottom of the creature forming the guard. Who are you? Why are you here? Snarled Naruto, looking up at the creature still protectively holding Keniko in his arms. I'm here to put an end to the Nakomata before they kill more devils, declared the creature floating in the air. Over my dead body, growled Naruto, standing up, putting himself between Keniko and the creature. That can be quite easily arranged, declared the purple-skinned creature, moving into what appeared to be a flighting stance. Naruto put his hands out to the side as he glared at the creature. In an explosion of movement, Naruto took a step forwards as flames flared to life in his hands and his wings flared out behind him, and he rocketed up into the air, throwing a fireball at the creature, who used his blade to slice through the fire, rendering it harmless. However, Naruto, using his rocketing momentum, spun sideways, his legs slamming into the creature's sword arm, pushing it down as Naruto continued on his spin and slammed his fist into the creature's head, throwing him down. Quickly shaking his head, the pink-eyed man glared up at Naruto before quickly throwing himself backwards to avoid another strike from Naruto before slicing at Naruto with his blade. The blonde Phoenix Gremory spun around, just avoiding the slice, only to be hit in the face courtesy of a fist pushing the blonde redhead backwards. Naruto let his wings dissipate, quickly dropping downwards out of the path of some purple lightning originating from the sword-wielding creature, who flew at Naruto, swinging his sword down on the blonde, who could do nothing but put his hand up to block the strike. The devil hissed in pain as the blade sliced through his skin down to the bone, which thankfully stopped the sword, shocking the wielder of said blade, giving Naruto enough time to slam his knee into the creature's stomach, making him double over in pain, giving Naruto the opportunity to slam his other knee into the creature's face as a crunch sound was heard, throwing his head back as Naruto let go of the blade and spun around before rocketing his foot forwards and slamming the bottom of his foot into the other creature's gut, sending him rocketing backwards. Naruto once more hissed in pain as the open wound on his hand burst into flame before sealing the open wound perfectly. Before the blonde turned to look back towards the sword-wielding creature, who floated in midair about 20 feet from him. "What is your name?" asked the creature with what appeared to smile on his face. "Naruto Gremory Phoenix," declared Naruto, narrowing his eyes at the creature. "Alaster," declared the now named Alaster, still on the receiving end of Naruto's glare. Naruto, not caring for the pleasantries, flew forwards, his right hand out to the side as if holding a blade. As Naruto drew close to Alaster, he brought his right hand back as if going for an overhead strike. However, as he brought his hand down, his arm became engulfed in a green glow that extended from his elbow out a good 2 feet from his arm, and in an instant Naruto's hand burst through the green glow, revealing his hand encased in a clean silvery gauntlet. However, that wasn't the most surprising thing. The more shocking thing was the 3-foot-long single-edged pure silver curved blade. However, just in front of the hilt was a circular hole in the blade about half a foot wide, which was quickly filled with a green glowing disc. The blade Naruto now held clashed with that of Alaster, both of whom looked shocked at the blade appearing in Naruto's hand. Naruto, while pushing down on Alaster's blade, was examining his own. Pushing back from Alaster, Naruto floated in the air looking at the blade. After a moment, something akin to a bolt of lightning shot through Naruto's head, and he screamed, clutching his head, his wings vanishing and the blonde falling to the ground. Naruto screamed, Keniko running forwards, catching the blonde as he fell. Alaster looked on with something akin to concern along with confusion as his opponent fell to the ground, being caught by the Nakomata just before he hit. Naruto's sword and gauntlet both vanished as Naruto fell. As Naruto was caught by the golden-eyed Catwoman, his screams only grew louder as memories flooded his mind, tears rolling down his face both from the pain of his head and the sadness of the memories flooding his mind, the sword, his friends, teachers, even a man akin to a father to him, and the first time he ever felt at home within the hero village in the elemental nations. After 5 minutes, Naruto's screams and tears began to die down, still clutching his head. I killed them," muttered Naruto looking at the ground. "Who, Naruto-kun?" asked Keniko, looking at Naruto shocked. Naruto glanced at Keniko before looking away ashamed. Getting back to his feet, Naruto glanced back to Alaster, who remained where he was previously. "Naruto-kun," called Rias as she ran over to him and Keniko with Akino, Sona, Subaki, Surzex, Graphia, Zeoticus, Venelana, Rilvine, Lord Citri and Sarah's not far behind her. "Well, time to make my exit," muttered Alaster, turning to leave, only for Naruto's head to snap towards him, and in another blur of motion Naruto shot to his feet, his wings once more flaring out as he shot into the air, throwing his right hand out to the side, his gauntlet and blade once more appearing as he shot forwards, and before Alaster could block it, Naruto stabbed his blade into the man. "No you don't, you demon bastard," snarled Naruto as his blade pierced Alaster's chest. Naruto and the sword-wielding creature falling to the ground, slamming into the ground, Naruto's blade and gauntlet once more disappeared as he stood up and turned back to face his friends. Stepping out of the slight crater, Naruto walked over to his friends, no one noticing Alaster's body glowing slightly. Naruto stood before the group of devils, not looking at any of them, instead looking away from them all with a look akin to shame on his face. "Sochi, it wasn't your fault," said Kushina from inside Naruto's mind, knowing what he was ashamed of. "Are you okay, you two?" asked Surzex, looking at Keniko and Naruto. "Yeah, thanks to Naruto," spoke Keniko, getting a nod from Surzex, who looked to Naruto, who still refused to meet any of the devil's eyes. "Naruto?" questioned Venelana, everyone looking to the blonde, who still looked away from them. "What's wrong, Naruto?" asked Rilvine, concerned. Naruto shook his head before looking at the group of concerned devils. "Nothing, don't worry," said Naruto with a smile. However, even the 5 young devils could tell the smile was fake. "Naruto," spoke Venelana, making Naruto sigh. "I remember, I killed them, my friends, my teachers, entire families, sons, daughters, mothers, fathers," declared Naruto, making everyone go wide-eyed. "It wasn't your fault, Naruto-sama," declared Ceres, making everyone turn to her, looking at her master with a determined look. "But," began Naruto. "No buts, you were defending Yuki and unconsciously used it," declared Ceres, making everyone look at her confused except Naruto, who looked down ashamed. How do you know what he's talking about? Asked Rias, looking at Ceres. I've seen all of his memories, I know everything he's ever been through. There is only one event that fits his description, spoke Ceres. What is it? Asked Subaki, looking at Ceres for an explanation on whatever this it was. Banishing Shift, an attack that banishes anything hit by it to the zero dimension, erasing it from existence, declared Naruto, looking at the group of devils, making all of them look to him as he looked at the ground. Keniko walked over to Naruto, wrapping her arms around him, making him look at her in surprise. Thanks, Nico-chan, spoke Naruto with a small smile ruffling Kaniko's hair. Everyone smiled at the interaction between the two before Naruto stepped out of the girl's embrace before walking over to the downed form of Alaster, only to see him gone, only his blades still there. Naruto looked around in a panic. What is it, Naruto? Asked Akino. He's gone, spoke Naruto, still looking around for the demon. He can have, we would have seen him, declared Keniko, looking to Naruto. He's gone, only his sword is here, spoke Naruto, kicking the blade to try and determine if it was a trap. Who was he and why was he attacking you two anyway? Asked Theodicus, looking at Naruto and Keniko. He said his name was Alaster, and he said he was here to kill Keniko, said Naruto, glaring down at the blade. What? Screamed Rias, looking at her Rook, who just nodded her head as Naruto leant down and picked up the sword. However, when Naruto stood up, the sword glowed a golden glow before an orb of golden energy formed from the sword and floated to the ground, where it formed into a humanoid form, and after a second the golden glow dissipated, revealing Alaster, growled Naruto, raising the demon's own blade ready to strike. Wait, screamed Alaster, holding his hands up in defense. You have 5 seconds to explain why I shouldn't kill you, declared Naruto, glaring at the demon. I'm sorry, I was only doing as ordered. I bear no ill will towards the Nakomata. That blade you hold is me. I am a sentient blade. You defeated me in combat, and as such I am now loyal to you and only you, Naruto-sama, spoke the creature, kneeling to Naruto, his head down. Keniko, he came after you. It's your decision what I do with him, spoke Naruto, walking over to the young Nakomata. He said he's loyal to you. So long as he stays a blade, I don't care, said Keniko, looking at Naruto, who glanced back at the bowing demon, who nodded and his humanoid form vanished. Naruto-sama, being the holder of my blade grants you the ability to use the purple lightning I used in our fight, came the voice of Alaster within Naruto's mind. Then I will teach you, declared Alaster. Naruto-kun, called Akino, making the blonde look to her, indicating he was listening. Since when do you know how to use or even have a sword? Asked the ebony-haired girl, making everyone bar Ceres look to her, and then back at Naruto. I was briefly trained as a hero when I was young. I guess they couldn't sense my devil blood, they could just sense my strong magic power. They took me from Konoha with the Hokage's permission, and trained me for a year. I learned quickly, however I was banished after the year of training because of banishing shift. We were all under attack by an ambitious member of the village who had attempted to take Brynhildr, a cursed semi-sentient sword. However, the sword took him over and he attacked us. The children were told to flee while the adults tried to subdue him. However, he killed enough of the adults to break through their protective line, and he attacked me and my friend Yuki. That's when I used my banishing shift. I killed hundreds that day, but during that time I touched Brynhildr, and it was bound to me, declared Naruto, wincing as he spoke about the attack and banishing shift. How come you didn't tell us this sooner? Asked Sona, looking at Naruto, shocked. I forgot about all of it. I would have told you if I remembered, said Naruto. Several hours later, Naruto sat on his bed reading a book. The day had long since ended, and it was now the dead of night. Quickly putting the bookmark in his page, Naruto stood up, stretching as he stood. Evening, Naruto-sama, spoke Ceres, entering his room. Evening, Ceres, replied Naruto, turning to face the woman. Venelana-sama asked me to tell you it's time for bed, instructed Ceres, getting a nod from Naruto. I'll leave you to change, spoke Ceres, turning to leave. Wait, you asked to see my scars? Now is as good a time as any, declared Naruto, making Ceres turn back to face him. Are you sure, Naruto-sama? I don't want you to force yourself, said Ceres. No, you deserve to see them for yourself, spoke Naruto, turning away from Ceres, who looked on as Naruto took a deep breath before lifting his shirt. Ceres knelt down behind a now shirtless Naruto before she reached out and gently touched one of the many scars on Naruto's back, making him jump slightly at her gentle touch, but let her do as she wanted. Ceres ran her hand along the scars, tracing the skin with her undead fingers. After running her hand along the devil spawn scar, Ceres stood up and pulled Naruto into a hug which the young devil was not expecting, making him let out an undignified squeak before he settled into the woman's embrace. After a few moments, Ceres stood and walked to the door. I thank you for showing me your scars, Naruto, spoke Ceres before she stepped through the door, leaving Naruto alone in his room to change. About a week later, Citri Castle. Naruto stood in the gardens of Citri Castle with Ceres, Sona and Subaki. Rias and her peerage had been assigned a mission in the overworld the day before. Sona had asked Naruto if he wanted to have a sleepover, which he had said yes to, with Ceres going with him, and the blonde had brought Alaster with him, not wanting to leave the sentient sword in Gremory Castle, which was a good idea given the three youths had decided to have some spars. Naruto stood opposite Subaki with Sona, Ceres, Sona's older sister Seraphal, and Celtioma standing off to the side, with Lady Citri being the judge. Begin, called Celtioma, jumping back. Subaki put her hands in front of her as a magical circle formed before she reached into the circle, pulling out a pole which was quickly revealed to be a naginata. Naruto threw his hand out to the side, quickly summoning Brynhildr, while his other hand just as quickly pulled Alaster from the sheath on Naruto's back, just in time for Naruto to cross his blades over his head, blocking a downward strike from Subaki. Naruto attempted to sweep her legs out from under her, but Subaki saw through his attack and jumped backwards over his leg, and it harmlessly passed under her as she disengaged from the blade lock. Naruto flared out his bat-like half-flaming wings and took off backwards into the air. Subaki flared out her own bat-like wings and took off after him, lunging forwards. Subaki flew under Naruto as he came to a complete stop in the air. Once more the two were only 10 feet apart, however now they were about 100 feet up in the air. Naruto smirked as Subaki turned back to him, only to watch as Brynhilde burst into light blue flames and Alaster began to lightly spark with purple sparks. Naruto jabbed his cursed flaming blade forward, sending out a ball of fire that flew at Subaki, who quickly spun around, avoiding the ball of flame before ending up facing Naruto once more. Before Naruto could attack once more, Subaki shot forward, swinging her weapon out wide. Naruto simply spun Alaster into a reverse grip before bringing the blade up to block the attack. Before he swung Brynhilde upwards at the bespectacled ebony-haired devil, who quickly moved back Naruto's attack, only just singeing her clothes as she flew backwards. Naruto swung his flaming blade in a wide arc, sending a flaming wave towards Subaki, who quickly flew upwards to avoid the attack, only for Naruto to jab Alaster forwards, making purple lightning arc off the blade towards Subaki, who was barely able to spin out of the way of the lightning in time. However, before she could even counter-attack, another wave of fire courtesy of Naruto blade was flying at her. Scowling, Subaki let one hand fall from her weapon before she essentially drew a mirror in the air, a mystical mirror forming courtesy of the girl's sacred gear, the mirror absorbing Naruto's fire wave before the mirror shattered and the wave flew back towards Naruto at twice the speed, giving the blonde little time to react. Banishing shift, called Naruto, swinging Brynhilde upwards, creating a green slash in the air that sucked in the flaming wave, making it dissipate into nothing, the green slash dissipating after it absorbed the flames. Both Subaki and Naruto were shocked by the blonde's move. Naruto, snapping out of his shock, first used Subaki's distracted state to his advantage, rushed forwards, bringing Brynhilde downwards at Subaki, who upon seeing Naruto quickly brought the pole of her weapon up to block the downward strike from Naruto. However, using his height of attack to his advantage, Naruto brought his foot forward, slamming it into her stomach, pushing the girl back. Before she could right herself, Naruto swung Brynhilde in an arc, sending out a wave of fire at Subaki once more, who scowled slightly again as she created another mirror which captured the wave of flame and sent it back at Naruto, who dodged out of the way and lunged at Subaki before she could stop him, the tip of his blade stopping just short of her throat. "I give," declared Subaki, getting a nod from Naruto, who sheathed the Alaster and dismissed Brynhilde as the two floated to the ground. The two landed on the ground Subaki and were both quickly complimented on the spar. "Subaki-chan, can I have a word?" asked Naruto, drawing everyone's attention. Subaki herself was confused but agreed anyway before walking over to him. "Sarah's, would you mind staying here? I wish to talk with Subaki-chan alone," said Naruto, getting a nod from his queen as he and Subaki turned and walked away. "What's up, Naruto?" asked Subaki, looking at Naruto confused. The blonde said nothing for a moment, however, when he was sure the two of them were far enough the others couldn't hear him, he spoke. "I know this may not be my place, but you still hold some resentment towards your sacred gear, don't you?" suggested Naruto, making Subaki's eyes widen before they narrowed. "You're right, it's not your place," said Subaki in an angry tone. Naruto nodded. "But you're the only one who's noticed, and it is something I want to get off my chest if you'll listen," said Subaki, looking down sadly. "I wouldn't have said anything if I wasn't willing. You're my friend Subaki-chan," said Naruto with a smile, sitting down. Subaki sat down next to him. "I have told you I was born to two members of the Shinra clan, right?" questioned Subaki, getting a nod from Naruto. "And you know they are a clan of loyal god worshippers that purify evil spirits, right?" questioned Subaki, once more getting a nod from Naruto, who was listening intently. "I was born with an abnormality in the clan's abilities to purify spirits. I could summon those evil spirits from my mirrors. While not labeled a heretic by my clan, I knew that's what they all thought of me," said Subaki, tears forming her eyes. Naruto shook his head before pulling the girl into a hug. They forced me into isolation, living alone. Not even with my parents, who didn't even seem to care what my clan was doing to me. Not once did they ever come to see me after that. Not once did they call me their daughter. They didn't even look at me as if I was human anymore," said Subaki as tears began to flow down her face like waterfalls. "If only I hadn't been born with this cursed ability. If I hadn't, then my parents would still care for me, as much as I care about Sona, Rias, Akino, and the rest of you. I miss my family. Just want a parent's love. Is that so much to ask?" questioned Subaki angrily. No, Subaki-chan, it's not too much to ask. Everyone should know parental love," said Naruto, holding Subaki tighter. "I know you never met your parents until recently, Naruto-kun. I know I may seem spoke Subaki, only for Naruto to put a finger against her lips, silencing her. "No, you're not being insensitive. I was by asking." "It's okay," said Naruto with a smile before he took his finger away. "And if I may offer my own input as someone who has been in a similar situation, family, the bond that links people together, your true family is not one of blood, but of respect and joy in each other's life. And if your parents didn't care after you discovered your abilities, then they were not your family. The ones that respect and care for you no matter what are your family. Those like Sona, Rias, Akino, Lord and Lady Citri, Leviathan-sama, me, Lord Gremory, Venelana-sama. Subaki, you have so many people that care for you. Don't be blinded by the past and be unable to see the future," said Naruto with a teary smile, looking down at Subaki, who looked at him, tears staining her eyes with a shocked look on her face, before she smiled and looked down. You know just the thing to say, don't you, Naruto-kun? Questioned Subaki, wiping away her tears before looking up at the blonde with a smile. I try. I don't like seeing my friends sad, declared Naruto with a smile. The two devils sat there still embracing each other for a few moments of silence. Feeling better, Subaki-chan? Asked Naruto, looking down at the girl who looked up at him, and nodded. Yeah, thanks to you, Naruto-kun, said Subaki with a soft smile. No problem, said Naruto with a grin. We should probably move, the others will probably be wondering what's going on, said Naruto, standing up, getting a nod from Subaki, as he gently pulled her to her feet. Naruto and Subaki returned to the other three devils just as Sarah Fall was speaking. Sarah's is stronger than you, Naruto and Subaki put together, declared Sarah Fall, looking at Sona, who looked shocked. Yes, not only is she a Draculina, she is a mutation queen of a phoenix, making her normal vampire weakness to fire null and void, declared Naruto, making Sona turn to him and a shocked Subaki. So what do you say, Sarah's you against me? It'll be fun. Please? Questioned Sarah Fall in a childish tone, looking at Sarah's, who glanced to her master, who shrugged. Up to you, declared Naruto. Sarah's looked back to Sarah Fall with a smirk. Sure, declared the blonde vampiric queen with a smirk. Well then, I think we should all stand back for this, declared Celtioma, her wings flaring out as she took off into the air towards the castle, quickly followed by Sona, Naruto and Subaki, leaving only Sarah Fall and Sarah's in the immediate area. The two devils stood opposite each other, staring the other down. As if an unforeseen signal went off, the two female devils launched into a flurry of movement, both charging at each other, Sarah Fall swinging her staff at Sarah's, who dropped low, sliding through Sarah Fall's legs, trying to trip the woman, only for her to jump over Sarah's. As Sarah Fall hung in midair, hooked her hand into the ground, using her momentum to turn back around towards the Leviathan and kick off the ground, rocketing at the back of the woman. Sarah Fall saw the attack coming, but unfortunately was just too slow to avoid it, her wings flaring out just as Sarah slammed her foot into the violet-eyed woman's back, launching her 200 feet forwards as Sarah Fall coughed up a glob of blood. Sarah Fall came to a stop midair and spun to glare at Sarah's, who was flying on her half-bat-like, half-flaming wings at the black-haired woman. Sarah Fall threw her hand out, and a blue magical ring formed, and in the blink of an eye a dragon made from water shot out of the blue ring towards Sarah's. Sarah smirked and willed part of the fire from her wings forward to intercept the dragon, and much like Naruto's blue flames, Sarah's flames engulfed Sarah Fall's water dragon, shooting forwards. However, Sarah Fall didn't get hit with the flames. Sarah's watched as the flames cleared, only to reveal nothing in front of her. Quickly expanding her senses, Sarah's attempted to find Sarah Fall, only for a foot to connect with her spine, launching the vampire forwards into the ground with a loud crunch. A large crater was formed as Sarah slammed into the ground. However, the Draculina couldn't be kept down, as almost instantly she pushed herself up, spitting out a glob of blood before turning back towards a smirking Sarah Fall. You wanna play rough? Okay, I can do that, declared Sarah's, holding up her index finger and thumb on both of her hands, forming a rectangle shape. Releasing control art restriction to level 5, declared Sarah's in a demonic voice as a black entity formed around her, and hundreds of blood-red eyes shot open on the black mass behind her. All of the devils around watched on in interest as Sarah's arms dissolved into the same black mass, and then from the mass behind her 2 cylindrical objects emerged. Oh shit, declared Sarah Fall upon seeing the objects fully emerge from the black and red mass. It's been ages since I've had these babies out, muttered Sarah's, glancing up at her precious twin Harkonnen MK2, and before Sarah Fall could even blink, Sarah's began unloading round after round towards the water-wielding Satan. Sarah Fall quickly flew around the bullets being fired her way. Throwing both of her hands out in front of her, an ice-blue ring formed, and just as quickly a dragon made of ice came flying out towards Sarah's, who quickly shot the dragon to bits. However, that was Sarah Fall's plan, as the black-haired woman landed on the ground and ice rings formed around her before they began flying at Sarah's, who stood there and simply let the disc slice through her, her body falling apart, Sarah Fall narrowing her eyes the whole time. As all of the Leviathan's discs were used, Sarah's fell to the ground in a bloody heap, her 2 cannons falling to the ground with a huge thud. Sarah Fall narrowed her eyes at the woman as the blood that had flowed from Sarah's body quickly rushed back into her, and she reformed, excluding her arms, which remained bloody, morphing into the shape of claws. The 2 women rushed each other, Sarah's jumping into a violent spin, Sarah Fall holding her wand in hand, the object coated in a sheen of ice, as she jumped at the vampire. The 2 clashed midair, Sarah's bloody claws cutting the ice on Sarah Fall's staff. However, Sarah Fall spun around, slamming her foot into the Draculina. Grunting at the hit, Sarah's lunged forwards, fangs out, attempting to bite Sarah Fall, who spun around, slamming her staff into the blonde woman's face, knocking her backwards. The 2 women split, both glaring at each other. Sarah's bloody claws snaked out, snatching her twin Harkonnens from the ground before firing at Sarah Fall, who in the blink of an eye created a sheet of ice to momentarily distract Sarah's. Jumping over the ice as it was systematically wiped out by the shots from the Harkonnens, Sarah Fall sent an icy wind at Sarah's, who was quick to dodge the wind, only for a hail of ice spikes to be shot towards her. Dropping her cannon, Sarah's formed a huge light blue fireball, which was quickly thrown towards the incoming ice spikes. The fire flew towards the ice and quickly engulfed the spikes before exploding outwards, obscuring Sarah's vision. The vampire woman was forced to jump into the air, leaving the Harkonnens behind as the ground beneath her froze, ice spreading outwards from Serafall, who was kneeling at the center of the now icy terrain. Quickly forming another fireball, Sarah's lobbed the ball of fire at the still crouching Serafall, attempting to catch the woman in the fire. However, Serafall was quick enough to launch into the air as the fire hit the ice and exploded, sending smaller flames and chunks of ice scattering everywhere. Sarah's flew up after Serafall, who stopped midair and spun around, slamming her wand into the Draculina's face, sending her rocketing back down into the ice field, smashing into the already formed ice, crushing it. However, before Sarah's could even get back up, the ice began reforming around her. What the hell? Questioned Sarah's, trying to get out of the ice. It's no use, Sarah's, that is my Celsius cross trigger. It turns the world around it into ice, and the ice will reform around anything that cracks it. You're stuck, declared Serafall from above the woman. I give you win, declared Sarah's, getting a nod from Serafall, who dropped to the ice, slamming her hand on the ice, making the frozen liquid recede back towards her, unfreezing Sarah's Harkonnens and the woman herself. Well done, you two, that was quite the spectacle, declared Celtioma as she, Naruto, Sona and Subaki flew down to the battlefield. Sarah's blood claws snaked out before taking her Harkonnens from the ground before they were swallowed by the bloody claws, disappearing before Sarah's arms reformed. What was that restriction thing you released? Asked Serafall, looking to Sarah's. Control art restriction. It restricts my powers to a certain degree. They have been in place since I became a proper vampire, so I didn't go insane and turn on humanity. I can release up to level 4 on my own, but any further I need permission, declared Sarah's. From who? Asked Naruto, genuinely confused. From my master after the contract is formed. I was going to talk with you about the contract soon, but now is as good a time as any, spoke Sarah's. What does this contract entail? Asked Naruto. Essentially nothing that hasn't already occurred. At this point it is simply me giving you control of my restriction release, declared Sarah's, getting a nod from Naruto. Several hours later, the Underworld's night had fallen and Naruto found himself in Sona's room. Sitting on her bed in front of him was a chessboard, and seated opposite him sat Sona, who was smirking at him. Subaki and Sarah's both sat on either side of the chessboard, with Serafall sitting next to Sona. You ready to lose, Naruto-kun? Asked Sona, smirking at Naruto. The black-haired king had been faced Serafall, Subaki, and Sarah's, defeating them all, and was now facing Naruto, who, while not sure, he was confident that he would do reasonably against his friend. You haven't won yet, Sona, declared Naruto with a smirk as he moved his first piece. Sona narrowed her eyes at the moved piece before she moved her own. Naruto then moved his piece almost instantly, confusing Sona. The young woman looked at the board and began to work out her next move. It took her a moment before she figured it out and moved her piece before once more Naruto instantly moved a piece. Are you getting help from your mother? Asked Sona, glaring at Naruto with her arms crossed. I'm not, I swear, said, holding his hands up in a defensive position. Sona narrowed her eyes before looking back at the board and mapping out her possible moves. Naruto just sat back as Sona planned her move. Moving her piece, Sona sat back as Naruto once more instantly moved a piece. Are you just randomly moving pieces? Asked Sona, looking at Naruto. No, said Naruto, simply annoying the black-haired woman. This is how the game continued, Sona taking her time to plan out a move, then Naruto moving a seemingly random piece instantly. The game went on for ages, drawing to what everyone hoped was a close, with Naruto having his king, 1 bishop, 3 pawns and a rook. Sona, on the other hand, had her king, queen, a knight and a pair of pawns. Check, said Sona smugly as she moved her queen to just the right position to force Naruto to move his king. Naruto again instantly moved his king, annoying Sona at how quickly he was moving his pieces. She once more observed all possible moves and saw Naruto trying to set a trap for her king, so she moved it only for Naruto to instantly move a piece. Checkmate, said Naruto smugly as he put his piece back on the board. You, I what, how, huh? Questioned Sona, disbelieving as she looked at the board. He did it, said Subaki, shocked. He actually beat Sona? Questioned Serafall, looking at the board before she nodded to herself, seeing that Sona's king was indeed in check and had nowhere to go without still being in check. I can't believe it, you actually beat me. No one besides Tusan and Ka-chan have beat me before, said Sona, looking at Naruto, who shrugged. My strategies are unpredictable and hard to get a grasp on, declared Naruto with a smirk. Well, I know when I am beaten, said Sona, holding out her hand, which Naruto took with his own, and the two shook hands. Alright, you lot, bedtime, said Celtioma, walking into the room. AWWWWWWW. Came the synchronized whine of the 3 young devils, getting a smile from Celtioma and a giggle from Sarah's and Serafall. Don't whine, you need sleep to grow up big and strong like me, declared Serafall, childishly flexing her muscles. Come, Naruto, I'll show you to your room, spoke Celtioma, getting a nod from the blonde as he stood from Sona's bed. See you in the morning, declared Naruto, waving to Sona, Subaki and Serafall, who all waved back as Naruto followed Celtioma, with Sarah's quickly standing from the bed before stepping up behind Naruto. As Sarah stepped onto Naruto's shadow, she sunk into the darkened area behind her master, inhabiting his shadow. Next morning, Naruto's eyes fluttered open as they were assaulted by morning light flooding his temporary room through the window. Naruto went to move his arm to block the sun, only to realize that neither of his upper arms would move. Glancing to his left, Naruto jumped a bit, but thankfully not enough to wake his sleeping companion. Looking to his right, Naruto once more jumped a bit upon seeing a second sleeping companion, neither of whom were next to him the previous night when he fell asleep. Comfy, Naruto-sama? asked a teasing voice from the end of the bed. Naruto glanced up at Sarah's before glaring at her and falling back onto the bed, which apparently was enough to wake both of his sleeping companions. Morning Naruto-kun, muttered Sona yawning as she sat up on his left side. Morning Sona-chan, spoke Naruto. Good morning Naruto-kun, Sona-sama, said Subaki drowsily reaching out to the bedside table to grab her glasses. And to you Tsubaki-chan, yawned Naruto. Morning Subaki, groaned Sona as she stretched before grabbing her glasses from the bedside table. Why are you two in my bed? Asked Naruto looking at the two nervously. What's the point of a sleepover if we don't stay in the same room and stay up for hours? Questioned Sona. Oh okay, spoke Naruto still not sure what to think of the situation. Well we were going to stay up but you were already asleep by the time we got here, said Subaki. And we were about to go but you started thrashing around in your sleep so we tried to calm you down, declared Sona making Naruto look down. Good morning, came the childish tones of Seraphal as she burst into the room drawing all four occupants' attention to her. Seraphal opened her eyes to see the confused looks of Sona, Naruto, Subaki and Sarah's. Come on you lot, time to get up, Naruto you need to eat, I'm taking you back to the granaries once you're ready, declared the girl getting a nod from Naruto. Several hours later, Naruto with Sarah's in his shadow and Seraphal beside him walked through the gates of Granary Castle. Walking up the path the three arrived at the entrance to the actual castle to see Surzex standing on the path. Good morning Naruto-kun, spoke Surzex. Morning, said Naruto with a grin. Did you have fun staying with Sona? Questioned Surzex. Yeah it was really fun, we had some spars yesterday, and we played chess last night, declared Naruto with a grin and a nod. Well that's good. Head on inside, Tusan asked me to tell you he needs to see you as soon as possible, said Surzex getting a nod from Naruto who quickly ran past the red-haired man. Surzex watched the boy run inside with a smile, before turning back to Seraphal who had a look of confusion mixed with confusion on her face as she watched Naruto leave. Problem? Questioned the Lucifer. The spars yesterday I could feel it, and so could Ka-chan. We both think Naruto has a sacred gear, declared Seraphal. Yes, we have sensed it too. We haven't told Naruto because we have no idea how he has one, and if it is in fact a true sacred gear or just something similar, spoke Surzex. Seraphal nodded. With Naruto. Naruto stood outside Zeoticus' office nervously. The young blonde redhead was unsure why Zeoticus could need to see him. Cautiously knocking on the door, Naruto was met with a calm voice. Come in, came Zeoticus' voice from the other side. Surzex said you needed to see me, spoke Naruto poking his head into the room. Ah Naruto, yes, come in, spoke Zeoticus. Sarah's you might want to join us too, this pertains to the both of you, spoke Zeoticus. Sarah's quickly rose out of Naruto's shadow before taking a seat, as did Naruto. As I'm sure both of you know, most devils have familiars. It's come to the point in recent years of an unofficial initiation. If one wants to be considered a devil worth anything they need a familiar, spoke Zeoticus getting a nod from the two in front of him. Yes, although it seems stupid to me for it to be so important to have a creature at your beck and call for whatever you need of it, declared Naruto, perturbed by the idea of having a familiar be such an important part of being a devil. Yes, well, be that as it may, it is still considered a requirement, and at this point neither of you have your own familiar, and as there is a full moon tonight I have contacted the familiar master, and he has agreed to assist you in possibly finding a familiar tonight, spoke Zeoticus getting surprised looks from Naruto and Sarah's. Okay, sounds good. Is that all you needed to see us for? Asked Naruto getting a nod from Zeoticus. In that case we will take our leave, said Naruto standing up, Sarah's following as the two of them left the room. Later that night, Naruto and Sarah stood in Zeoticus' office. Night had fallen over the underworld several hours ago. The two devils had eaten their dinner before heading off to Zeoticus' office for him to send the two of them to the pet forest. Are you two ready? You will be entering possibly a dangerous area, spoke Zeoticus. Naruto looked to Sarah's who simply nodded to her master. Yes, Zeoticus Sajizan, declared Naruto getting a nod from the man before a teleportation ring appeared beneath them. The ring quickly rose, engulfing the two blonde devils in a glow before they vanished. Pet forest. Naruto and Sarah's forms appeared in a glow as a ring formed. The ring dropped to the ground and the glow vanished, leaving Naruto and Sarah standing in a clearing within a forest. Before them stood a young-looking man with black hair, brown eyes and a tan complexion. He wore a light blue pair of jeans, a dark green shirt, a blue jacket with white sleeves, a pair of green fingerless gloves and a red hat. Hey, I'm the familiar master, you must be Naruto and Sarah's, spoke the man getting a nod from the two devils. Well, okay, you two got anything in mind for your familiars? Asked the man. No, nothing in particular, declared Naruto. Sarah simply shook her head to the familiar master, indicating she too had no particular familiar in mind. Alright then, let's see if we can find something for you two then, said the man walking away. What the hell was that? Questioned Naruto looking around. That may have been a Hydra, we have a couple of them around, not sure why it roared through, muttered their guide quickly moving towards the forest, Sarah's and Naruto following just as quickly. The two devils just walked through the forest looking at all of the creatures running around. Anything catching your eye? Asked the familiar master looking back at Naruto and Sarah's. Both shook their heads. No, noth, began Naruto cut off. That sounded closer, muttered the familiar master looking around somewhat frightened. Naruto however was looking in the direction the roar originated. Naruto-sama? questioned Sarah's in a concerned tone, looking at Naruto. Naruto's wings flared out, and he shot up into the air. Before taking off in the direction of the roar, Sarah's quickly followed her own wings flaring out. That's the way the roar came from, called the familiar master. I know that's why I'm going this way, replied Naruto back to the man before shooting off in the direction of the roar. Naruto flew for 5 minutes listening as the roars got louder and louder. After 5 minutes of solid flying, Naruto flew over a clearing. Looking down into the clearing, the blonde Gremory Phoenix saw a 9-headed creature. The creature had purple diamond-shaped scales. Well, hello there, you loud asshole, spoke Naruto with a smirk before all 9 heads turned to the blonde devil. All of the creatures' mouths opened up, screeching in Naruto's direction. Naruto winced and covered his ears until the Hydra stopped its screeching. Oh, that's it, declared Naruto, throwing his hand out to the side, and Brynhildr appeared in his hand, before the blonde quickly drew Alaster from the sheath on his back. The Hydra opened 3 of its jaws, and 3 different elements gathered around the open maws. Around the first, orange flames begun to form a ball of fire. Around the second, what appeared to be a ball of wind formed, and the third a ball of lightning. Naruto, upon seeing the elements gathered, smirked. With the hand holding Alaster, Naruto pointed at the flame-producing head, and in an instant the flames turned light blue. Then, with his control of the Hydra's flame absolute, Naruto directed the flames from the maw of the creature towards the ball of wind. The 2 elements colliding exploded outwards, causing the Hydra to screech. However, 1 elemental ball still remained, and before Naruto could stop it, the creature launched its ball of energy at Naruto, who once again smirked. Banishing shift, called Naruto, swinging Brynhildr in a downwards arc, creating a green slice in the air which sucked in the ball of lightning. I will not allow you to harm my master, called Sarah's as she slammed a bloody claw into the back of the large Hydra. Sarah's, back up, this is my battle, ordered Naruto, getting an unsure look from the vampire. But after Naruto dodged as the Hydra threw one of its heads forwards in an attempt to swallow Naruto whole, and the blonde to counter with a spray of purple lightning from Alaster, Sarah's nodded and flew up and away from her master's fight with the Hydra. The Hydra, figuring water would beat Naruto's fire, the creature opened a jaw, letting a ball of water form in its mouth. Naruto once more smirked before he willed fire from his wings out, forming a ball in front of him. After a second of letting their respective elements form large balls, both mystical, being launched towards each other, their elemental balls hit about halfway between them, Naruto's fireball engulfing the Hydra's water ball, exploding outwards in a large explosion. Naruto once more smirked at the Hydra, who snarled and glared at the airborne blonde. The Hydra, obviously having had enough of the blonde, opened 5 of its mouths, and another element began to gather at all 5 heads. One appeared to be ice. The second was a green liquid which Naruto could only guess was the poison Hydra were so famous for. The third appeared to be a purple cloud. The hybrid devil could only guess a gas of some sort. The last 2 were obvious. One was clearly a ball of light, and the last was a ball of shadow, given the creature's own shadow was flying from the ground up towards the mouth, forming the elemental ball. Within seconds the ball of blue flames grew to immense size, the ball being about twice the size of the Hydra beneath Naruto. However, the devil wasn't done with his attack. In an instant both of his blades began to spark with Alaster's purple lightning. As lightning danced along Naruto's blades, lightning shot down from the sky above the ball of fire, and in the same instant the lightning dancing along Naruto's blades arced from the weapons to the fireball, creating several rings of purple lightning around the ball of blue flames. In the next instant once more Naruto and the Hydra launched their attacks at each other. However, this time Naruto's twin elemental attack simply flew those straight through the Hydra's multiple attacks and hit the purple-skinned Hydra, exploding on the animal, decimating the surrounding clearing. Naruto looked down as the smoke began to clear, revealing all bar 3 of the creature's heads on the ground. Glaring down at the 3 remaining heads that were looking up at him, the heads dropped into what appeared to be a bow. Naruto floated down to the ground in front of the creature, the 3 heads all looking at him, each of them breathing heavily. You serve me now, declared Naruto, glaring at the Hydra. The 3 heads all nodded before dropping to the ground. Naruto dismissed Brynhildr and resheathed the Alaster as Sarah's quickly dropped to the ground and ran over to Naruto. Both of them turned their head when they heard a whistle. Well, would you look at that, it's been quite a while since I've seen one of these beauties, let alone a devil who can knock one of them out, declared the familiar master, appearing at the edge of the clearing. Well, the Hydra agreed to be my familiar, declared Naruto, making the man look to Naruto and once more whistle. Several days later, Naruto sat in the repaired gazebo in the Gremory Castle gardens with a book in hand and Sarah's in his shadow. Naruto was concentrating so much on his reading he didn't sense someone come up behind him. The blonde hybrid devil turned the page of his book just as he felt a tap on his left shoulder. Looking to his left he saw nothing. Immodestly after he turned his head he felt a tap on his right shoulder. Rias-chan, declared Naruto, happily looking back to his right, seeing his red-haired friend. Hey Naruto-kun, spoke the red-haired girl walking into the gazebo before she was pulled into a hug courtesy of Naruto. Hugging her friend back, Rias smiled, before she pulled back. Naruto-kun, is Sarah's around? Asked Rias, looking at Naruto. Sarah's chose that moment to rise out of Naruto's shadow, standing side on behind her master. Always. Do you need something of me, Rias? Asked Sarah's, glancing to the red-haired heiress. Not really, I have a new servant, spoke Rias, getting a confused look from Sarah's and a quirked eyebrow from Naruto. Rias-sama, are you sure these people are nice? Questioned a voice from behind Rias at the entrance of the gazebo. Yes, Gasper, this is my friend Naruto-kun, I told you about him. And this is Sarah's, she is a pure vampire, said Rias, stressing pure, looking back to the young child. The child had platinum blonde hair cut into a short bob cut with several small fringes over their forehead, pinkish eyes and pointed ears. From their looks it was very hard to tell if the child was a boy or girl. Sarah's looked at the child confused, mostly confused by what Rias had said. Naruto meanwhile had a smile on his face. The blonde red-haired devil walked over to Rias' new servant and bent down to be eye to eye with them. "Hello there, I'm Naruto Gremory Phoenix, nice to meet you," said Naruto holding out his hand to the young creature. "I am Gasper Vladi," stuttered the small pink-eyed being. "He's a damper," spoke Rias behind Naruto, making Sarah's eyes go wide before smiling to the young child who was looking away scared. "I'm sorry to interrupt this, but Lord Gremory has asked to see Rias," and Naruto spoke a voice from behind them. Turning to the voice, the two devils and two vampires saw Graphia standing there. "About what, Graphia, nay?" asked Rias, looking to the silver-haired woman confused. "It's not really my place to say," declared Graphia, getting a confused look from both Naruto and Rias. "Sarah's, could you watch Gasper while Naruto-kun and I go see what Toussaint wants?" asked Rias, kindly smiling to Naruto's queen, who smiled and nodded. "Alright, we'll be back soon," declared Naruto, getting a nod from his queen and Rias' new servant. The two devils quickly turned and followed Graphia, who led them back to the castle and to Xiaotica's office. The journey was quick and silent, which was slightly worrying to the young devils. Upon walking into the office, the two young friends saw that there was not only Xiaoticus in the room but Venelana, Rilvine, Ruby, Surzex, Rivel and Sarah Fall, who was clutching Rivel's arm with a smile on her face. It was only due to their position that the two young devils noted the two had near identical rings on their hands, both being silver with a gemstone, blue for Rivel and red for Sarah Fall. "You wish to see us too, San?" spoke Rias nervously. "No need to be scared, you two. Come sit," spoke the red-haired man, gesturing to the two seats opposite him before resting his chin on his hands. "What is it, Gremory-sama?" asked Naruto, looking at the man nervously despite the words of comfort. "I'm sure you two know that because of the most recent three-way war the devil population has dropped massively," spoke the red-haired clan head, getting a nod from the two children in front of them. "It's because of this that many pure-blooded devil families are entering their children into arranged marriages," declared Xiaoticus, getting a nod from Naruto and a shudder from Rias. "In fact, we have had contact from many families wanting to enter their children into arranged marriages with you two," spoke Xiaoticus, drawing shocked and disgusted looks from Naruto and Rias. "Please tell me you haven't agreed to any," almost begged Naruto. "No, we haven't. However," began Xiaoticus, shaking his head before looking at both children with a calculating gaze. "However?" questioned Rias nervously. "However, we have one of our own to propose to you two," spoke Rilvine with a smirk on his face, looking at the two devil. "I would never have begun," Naruto. However, he stopped dead when Xiaoticus spoke. "We would like to place you two in a marriage with each other," declared the red-haired man, stopping Naruto's words as his face flushed a light pink, as he glanced to Rias, who was not doing any better as her face was about the same shade as her hair. It was a sunny morning within the Underworld. Within the walls of Gremory Castle, in one room, we find a 12-year-old Naruto Gremory Phoenix asleep in his bed. Naruto's eyes fluttered open as the morning sun flooded his room, shining directly on his face and nowhere else, which he was grateful for. The young devil wouldn't want his sleeping companions to be awoken by the sun. Naruto glanced to his left to see his fiancée of several months, Rias, lying next to him with her arm draped over his chest, her head laying on his shoulder. Naruto planted a gentle kiss on her forehead, trying not to wake her. Beyond Rias, laying on Naruto's left forearm with her fingers intertwined with his own, was Akino. Rias, when she had been engaged to Naruto, had tried to stop her queen from joining Naruto and the red-headed Gremory heiress in bed, but Akino simply ignored Rias and continued to sneak into Naruto's bed, so Rias had reluctantly accepted it. Looking back to his right, Naruto caught sight of head of black hair on his right shoulder, matching Rias' position, laying on Naruto's arm, her head on his shoulder, and an arm draped across his chest was Sona. Like with Akino, Rias had tried to stop Sona from joining Naruto in bed, but had given up on the idea when she failed to even make Sona hesitate. Once again, beyond the Citri heiress lay another black-haired figure who, much like Akino, had interwoven her fingers with Naruto's own. Naruto lightly squeezed Subaki's hand with a smile. Rias had just straight up given up on trying to stop girls joining Naruto in bed after Subaki, much like Akino, and Sona had simply ignored the red-haired girl. Naruto's head rolled back to the center, only to see a lump in his quilt around his lower chest and hips. Naruto just shook his head, knowing full well that the lump was Keniko, curled up on his stomach in such a position that if she were to lean back she would be straddling his crotch. "Don't say anything," ordered Naruto, not even looking to his own queen, who stood just inside the door leaning on the doorframe, her arms crossed with a smirk on her face. "Fine. When your sleeping companions allow you to leave, Gremory-sama wanted to see you," declared the platinum blonde vampire. Naruto nodded as best he could and his queen dropped into the shadows on the floor, leaving Naruto in his bed. "We should probably let you get up then," spoke Rias softly, not moving her head or opening her eyes. "Sorry, did Sarah's or I wake you?" questioned Naruto, glancing to the redhead, who simply leaned up and kissed him on the lips, nothing more than a peck, before she pulled back. "No, silly, I've been awake for about 5 minutes, declared the woman, opening her eyes, looking at Naruto with a smile on her face. Both Rias and Naruto looked down when they felt the covers shift as they were drawn up as Keniko sat up with a yawn. "Morning, Nico-chan," spoke Naruto with a smile. "Morning, Naruto-kun," replied the white-haired girl as she rubbed the sleep out of her eyes with the back of her hand before yawning once more and looking to Naruto with a smile. Morning, Keniko, said Rias, looking down at the girl who had removed the covers from all persons within the bed. Morning, Rias, replied Keniko, looking to her red-haired king before the white-haired rook lay back down on Naruto's stomach. Naruto glanced to his left when he felt Sona shiver. However, before he could attempt to warm her up, her violet eyes fluttered open. Morning, declared the girl sitting up with a stretch. Morning, Sona-chan, replied Naruto, smiling at her. Good morning, Sona, spoke Rias, her eyes close but a smile on her face. Morning, Sona-sama, said Keniko, glancing at the girl. We probably need to wake up our queen, Sona, declared Rias, looking to the girl who had just grabbed her glasses from the bedside table. What for? Asked the bespectacled girl, looking to the redhead. Toussaint needs to speak with Naruto-kun, said Rias lazily. You don't need to wake them up, Ceres-chan said. When we're all up, Sayataka-sama needed to see me, declared Naruto, looking to Rias with a frown. I know, but if Toussaint needs to see you, it's more than likely important, replied Rias. Subaki, wake up, spoke Sona, turning to her queen before Naruto could stop her. Akino, time to wake up, said Rias softly, before gently shaking her own queen. Both black-haired queens groaned as their eyes opened groggily. What is it, Sona-sama? Questioned Subaki, turning to Sona. What's the deal, Rias? I was comfortable, muttered Akino, turning to glare at Rias. Toussaint needs to see Naruto, so we need to let him get up, declared Rias, making both Akino and Subaki look at Naruto before sighing and getting up and out of the bed, followed quickly by Rias, Sona, and Keniko. See you later, Naruto, declared the clothless Rias before she leaned down and kissed Naruto on the lips, lingering for a moment before she pulled back and turned on her heels, leaving a blushing Naruto as she walked out of the room with the rest of the girls following. Naruto got out of his bed before heading towards his bathroom to shower. About an hour later, Naruto walked towards Sayataka's office. Watching him from his shadow was Ceres. The platinum blonde was never far from her master. Naruto, arriving at his destination, knocked on Sayataka's door. Enter, called a voice from the other side of the door. Ceres-chan told me you wanted to see me, spoke Naruto, stepping into the room. Ah yes, Naruto-kun, come in, spoke the red-haired man with a smile. Naruto nodded as he stepped forwards and took a seat in front of the man. Rilvine, Ruby, Venelana and I have been talking, Naruto, and while Ruby and Venelana don't particularly want to let you, we all agree you are strong enough that we can let you go back to the elemental nations. However, Ruby and Venelana both put in the stipulation that Ceres is to go with you if you do, said Sayataka, leaning on his hands. I wouldn't have gone without her anyway, declared Naruto. Is that your way of saying you're going? Asked Sayataka with a raised eyebrow. No, but I am, said Naruto, getting a nod from Sayataka. Is that all you wish to talk about? Asked Naruto, getting a nod from the red-haired man. In that case, I should probably make sure I have all I need, said Naruto as he stood. I would tell your friends of your decision first. They will want to see you off, said Sayataka as Naruto turned to leave. Would you be so kind to have someone inform Ruby Abakin and Rilvine Najasan that I'm leaving today? Asked Naruto as he stood at the door, glancing back to Sayataka, who nodded. Naruto smiled to the man before walking out of the room. Naruto quickly moved from Sayataka's office towards one of the many lounge rooms within Gremory Castle, the one where he could sense Rias, Sona, Akino, Subaki, Keniko, Sarorg, and Gasper. Naruto-kun, hey, what did Toussaint want? Asked Rias as Naruto walked into the room. He wanted to tell me that if I want to I can go back to the elemental nations, said Naruto, getting shocked and concerned looks from the devils within the room. Hey, are you going to go? Asked Gasper nervously. Yes, declared Naruto with a nod. When do we leave? Asked Rias, looking to Naruto determinedly. Sorry Rias-chan, there is no we in this, it's me and Ceres-chan going. I'm going back to Konoha, and even if Sayataka Sajasan was okay with you coming with me, I'm not. I trust Konoha less than I trust Razor. You remember what I was like when I first came here. I'm not letting you get put in harm's way while I'm there, declared Naruto, making Rias look down sadly. Don't worry Rias, I will be back, and you will be able to come with me to the elemental nations at some point, just not now, spoke Naruto, getting a reluctant nod from Rias. So when do you leave, Naruto? Asked Sarorg, looking at his friend curiously. As soon as I have everything I need packed, so probably today, said Naruto, getting sad nods from the group of beings in front of him. Hey, I will come back, I promise. But this is something I need to do, declared Naruto. There isn't anything we can say to convince you to either stay or let us come with you, is there? Asked Sona, getting a shake of the head from Naruto. Do you want some help to pack your stuff? Asked Rias. No thanks Rias-chan, I'll see you lot later, declared Naruto, turning around, leaving the devils alone in the room. Several hours later, Naruto walked out of the castle and headed towards the gardens, a bag on his back, and Ceres behind him with her own bag on her back. Grafia had told the two of them, after they had finished packing, everyone wanted to say goodbye would meet them in the central gazebo of the gardens. Naruto and his platinum blonde queen walked through the gardens, just taking in the scenery. When they reached the gazebo, there were a few more people than either thought would show up. Looking around, Naruto saw Sayataka, Venelana, Surzex, Grafia, Rias, Rilvine, Ruby, Ruvel, Rasnus, Revel, Lord Citri, Celtioma, Serafal, Sona, Misla, Sarorg, Akino, Subaki, Keniko, and Gasper. Hey everyone, spoke Naruto, drawing everyone's attention his way. Naruto-ni, called Revel as she flew at him, tackling him, Naruto barely managing to stay standing as the girl cried against him. Don't cry Revel, spoke Naruto, rubbing the girl's back as she hugged him. She's sad to see you go, Naruto, just like the rest of us, spoke Rivel, stepping up to his cousin with his fiancée hugging his arm. Yeah, Naruto-kun, it's going to be so boring without you here, spoke Seraphol, pouting while clutching Rivel's arm. It's not like I'm never coming back, declared Naruto. Yes, but none of us know how long you're going to be gone, spoke Rasnus. I guess, spoke Naruto. Well, let's not drag this out, declared Surzex, getting a nod from Naruto, who was still hugging Rivel. The Phoenix heiress let go of her cousin and stepped back to her mother, who pulled the girl into a gentle hug. You better come back to us, declared Rias, stepping up to Naruto, pulling him into a hug. I will, I promise you. And Naruto, Gremory Phoenix never breaks a promise, replied Naruto, hugging Rias. Good, muttered Rias as a few tears slid from her eyes. After a moment, Naruto and Rias separated, the redhead leaving Naruto with a peck on the lips before walking over to her brother, sister-in-law, and father. Stay safe, Naruto-kun, muttered Sona, stepping up to the blonde looking down. I will, Sona, don't worry, said Naruto with a smile. Sona stepped forwards, hugging Naruto and planting a light kiss on his cheek before pulling back, blushing, before she quickly ran over to her mother, leaving a blushing Naruto in his place and a fuming Rias in hers. Please don't stay away too long, Naruto-kun, spoke Akino, walking up to Naruto, wrapping her arms around him as she pouted. I won't, replied Naruto, hugging Akino. Good, declared Akino, planting a kiss on the corner of his mouth, once again leaving Rias fuming and Naruto blushing. Akino pulled back and sauntered away from Naruto. Goodbye, Naruto-kun, spoke Subaki simply as she stepped forwards and hugged him. Bite, Subaki-chan, spoke Naruto with a smile. Subaki blushed as she leant forwards and pressed her lips to his cheek. Nothing more than a peck, but that was enough to get Naruto himself blushing even more and Rias fuming even more. I'll miss you, said Keniko, stepping up, hugging Naruto. I'll miss you too, Nico-chan, replied Naruto with a smile before the girl nervously bit her lip before she followed the other girl's leads and planted a kiss on Naruto's cheek before stepping back, blushing profusely. Naruto himself wasn't faring any better, and again Rias was fuming. See you around, buddy, spoke Serorg, stepping up to Naruto, the two high-fiving. Yeah, no doubt, declared Naruto with a smirk as he threw an arm around Serorg's neck before the two stepped back from each other. Gee, goodbye, Naruto, stuttered Gasper, stepping up to the blonde. See ya, little buddy, spoke Naruto with a smile, ruffling the boy's hair. Bye, Sarah's-sensei, said the little vampire, turning to Sarah's, who bent down with a smile. See you later, Gasper, spoke the platinum blonde woman with a smile, ruffling the boy's hair. The androgynous boy nodded before stepping back. Stay safe, you two, ordered Venelana, stepping up and hugging Naruto, getting a nod from both of them as she hugged Naruto. The brown-haired woman pulled back and pulled Sarah's into a hug. Please stay safe and keep him safe, Sarah's, begged the woman in a hushed tone. I will, replied Sarah's with a smile. Venelana pulled back from Sarah's and stepped back over to her husband as Ruby stepped up to the two of them. Don't be strangers, you two, spoke Ruby, hugging both Naruto and Sarah's in quick succession, getting a nod from both. See you later, you guys, spoke Rasnus as he ruffled Naruto's hair and saluted Sarah's. See you, Kaos, replied Naruto with a smirk while Sarah's nodded to Man. Don't be afraid to reach out if you need a hand, Naruto, spoke Ruvel with Seraphol still clutching his arm. Naruto nodded to the man. Well, I think everything that needs to be said has been said, spoke Surzex, drawing Naruto's attention to him. By Naruto, Sarah's, spoke the man while Grafia waved at the young blonde and his queen with a smile on her face and a protruding belly. By you three, said Naruto with a smirk, getting a giggle from Grafia and an eye roll from Surzex. Well, Sarah's, I think it's about time we made our exit, spoke Naruto, turning to the vampire queen, who nodded. Well, guys, it's been fun, I'll see you soon, hopefully, declared Naruto as a teleportation ring formed under him and Sarah's. And in the blink of an eye the two were gone. Konoha Forest of Death. A teleportation ring formed in the middle of a clearing. As the ring formed, a torrent of flame burst forth from the ring. Once the flames died down, Naruto and Sarah's were left in their place. You might want to disappear, Sarah's, I don't want the village knowing about it all if possible, spoke Naruto. Sarah's nodded to Naruto and stepped onto his shadow before she simply dropped into the darkened area behind her master. Naruto then proceeded to walk out of the clearing he found himself in and towards the edge of the forest. Despite not being in the village for 3 years, nothing much had changed, so Naruto simply followed his memories of the back streets to get to the Hokage Tower without anyone seeing him. Walking into the tower, Naruto slipped past the secretary who disliked him and began walking up the stairs. He had spent some of the time while packing his stuff working out his excuse to Hiruzen as to where he was for the last year. He was going to have to use a little devil magic, but he couldn't reveal the mystic world to Hiruzen, it was too risky. Walking into the office, Naruto saw the old man behind the desk. He wasn't sure how to feel about the man. He had hid his heritage and burden from him, but the man also treated Naruto like family. Hey Gigi, spoke Naruto. Na Naruto-kun? Questioned Hiruzen, looking up at the blonde even if he didn't believe it. Yeah, old man, it's me, said Naruto with a smile. Hiruzen quickly got up and walked over to the boy. However, Naruto saw all he needed to about the man in his eyes when he saw Naruto. They were not eyes of a caring man happy to see his lost family member. Those were eyes of someone looking at a tool. So you were manipulating me, you old bastard? Well, I won't let you do that anymore, declared Naruto, mentally glaring at the old man. Where have you been, Naruto, my boy? No one has seen you for 3 years. We thought you were dead, said Hiruzen. I was staying in that big fenced-off forest, Gigi, said Naruto. The Forest of Death? Questioned Hiruzen, with a raised eyebrow. Yeah, that one, declared Naruto, a grin on his face as he subtly cast a demonic illusion over Hiruzen, making him believe what the blonde said. He knew this would work as the spell wasn't chakra-based, so Hiruzen wouldn't be able to detect it. His parents had both done this in the past. Kushina had told him how to do it. Oh, I know, I should have sent someone to search there, said Hiruzen. Well, I'm back now, Gigi, said Naruto with a grin. Okay, my boy, well, why don't you run along, I have things to do, said Hiruzen, getting a nod from Naruto, who turned and left. Naruto walked down and out of the tower and began to head in the direction of his apartment. However, before he could get too far, he felt someone following him. So instead of heading back to his apartment, Naruto headed towards the training grounds. Getting to a training ground, Naruto walked deep into the training ground, into a forest so deep that the light barely managed to penetrate the canopy. You can come out now, declared Naruto, not even turning to face his follower. Well, I should have expected nothing less from Minato-sama's child, spoke a voice from behind Naruto. The blonde turned to the voice only to see standing in a tree above him was a man who had short, spiky black hair. His irises were blood red with 3 red tomo rotating around the pupil. The man wore standard ANBU armor with a ninjato strapped to his back and a mask attached to his belt. Shursui Uchiha, known as Shursui the Teleporter because of your incredible speed leaving afterimages when you fight. Renowned for your skills with a blade and your Sharingan, spoke Naruto, getting an interested look from Shursui. I see my reputation precedes me, spoke Shursui. However, none of that interests me. Shursui Uchiha, a middle-class reincarnated devil, skilled with pyrokinesis, and wielder of the sacred gear Ivory, otherwise known as the Blade of Gaia, servant of my father Minato Phoenix, said Naruto with a smirk, looking up at Shursui. I see my other reputation precedes me, declared Shursui with a smirk. What can I do for you, Shursui? Asked Naruto, shaking his head with a smile. It's more what I can do for you, said Shursui, getting a quirked brow from Naruto. If you're staying here in the elemental nations for any amount of time, you will want to know how to use chakra to throw off Sensor Ninja, said Shursui. And you offer me training? Questioned Naruto, getting a nod from Shursui. When and where? Asked Naruto. May as well make it here every day from now on, 10 in the morning unless I say otherwise, declared Shursui, getting a nod from Naruto. Okay, sounds good, declared Naruto. Shursui nodded before he vanished in a swirl of leaves. Naruto himself then walked back out of the clearing the way he came, moving back to the main streets of Konoha. Once again, Naruto headed off towards his apartment, quickly ducking into the back streets as he headed towards the red light district. Luckily, none of the villagers spotted him while he ran through the back alleys. Once Naruto reached the red light district, he stepped out of the back alleys as he didn't need to hide from the hookers and thugs of Konoha. They actually treated him like a human as opposed to the rest of the village. Naruto walked towards his apartment block. He knew he probably wasn't going to have a good time, as he knew the landlord would be rude to him, but Naruto would simply liberate the deed to the building from the man. He wasn't sure if the landlord would disappear after, but he was contemplating it. "Oh, I brat," yelled a voice from behind Naruto. "Speak of the devil," muttered Naruto, looking back at the landlord walking up to him angrily. You little brat, only 36 months rent plus a substantial late fee," said the man. Sarah's rose out of Naruto's shadow, shocking the man, but before anything could be said, Sarah's was in front of him, pointing at his forehead before both Sarah's and the landlord's eyes glowed red as she begun to hypnotize him. "You will no longer bother Naruto for rent," said Sarah's. "I will no longer bother Naruto for rent," said the landlord. "In fact, you wish to sign over ownership of the building to Naruto," said Sarah's. "In fact, I wish to sign over ownership of the building to Naruto," said the landlord before he put down his briefcase and opened it up, pulled out a form and began scribbling on it, before he walked over to Naruto, handing him the pen and form. "All that is needed is your signature here and the deal will be complete, Naruto," said the landlord in a trance-like state. Naruto took the form and signed where he said, "Sarah's-chan, disappear him," declared Naruto, walking into the large apartment complex. Before walking up to his apartment, walking into his old home, Naruto felt his stomach grumble. The blonde looked at his fridge. "Yeah, no, I don't think I'm that brave," muttered Naruto, seeing an old instant ramen container out of the corner of his eye. Looking over at the cup, he swore it moved. Stepping out of the room, he was half tempted to burn the room to the ground. Naruto quickly moved back to the ground floor, where he found Sarah's walking into ground floor. "Let's go, Sarah's, I'm hungry and I wouldn't trust the food in my apartment as far as you could throw it," said Naruto. "Okay, so where are we going?" asked Sarah's. "A forest I know just outside village. I don't have any elemental nations money, so I can't buy anything, so we have to go hunting," said Naruto, getting a nod from his queen, and once more the two took off towards the back alleys. "You could just go to our house. The whole house has stasis runes on it, so any food in there, it should still be good," declared Kushina from within Naruto's mind. "That sounds good, Sarah's-chan. Change of plans, we're heading to my parents' house," declared Naruto as the two devils changed paths.